welcome back to another day of Masters Clash. My last day of Masters Clash, actually, as once we get past this, it'll be going on to LAN, as I said a couple times on this stream, and they are not flying me out to Paris for this LAN. But with me today, I do have somebody that will be there in Paris for that LAN, and that is CavalierGuest, the coach of Oxygen Esports. Cav, thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you very much, Mockery. I appreciate it, and I'm very excited to go out to Paris since you bring it up.
Yeah, that is super, super cool, honestly. The fact that you get the opportunity to do that, and because of your achievement as well. It's not even just a trip at that point, just a regular trip. That's something that you earned. That's very cool. Indeed. I'm looking forward to watching you guys play that out. I hope everything goes well at the event.
Me too. It's gonna be interesting too because LANs are really special. Teams develop a different meta. Everyone's playing on the same ping, and even just playing on the same ping can affect people's hero pools. People always used to mention back in the day that somehow Tyrael would always be this insanely high priority at LAN events, and he is. Like, it's just when everyone's playing on the same ping, and you're playing, especially if you're playing on like reasonable ping, which Paris is actually pretty close to where the Europe hot server is. The heroes that are a little inconsistent sometimes on variable ping become very consistent.
So just to be sure I'm understanding you right, the implication here is that this is not a full LAN zero ping, that this is just everybody playing from the same location?
It's everyone playing from the same location, but particularly Paris, the HotS European server is in northern France. So just like CCL is going to be held at the Mall of America, their production studio is like an hour away from the central server for HotS in the US. So by pure coincidence, both of the LANs coming up this year will be on very low ping.
Hey, well, if we can't get the real ping, then might as well get the next best thing and get everybody as close to the servers as possible. I do find that a little bit surprising, though. I don't know how much setup is required on Blizzard's part, but I really wish that they would be more accommodating of LANs. I don't know. I have no idea as an outsider of the amount of effort that takes on Blizzard's part, but still unfortunate regardless, as we see Garrosh banned away right here alongside Lucio and Lunara. And I don't know if you were watching yesterday's games, Cav, but Johan Ayaya was smurfing the entire time yesterday, especially on that Garrosh in the first series against Inting for Ruby. And ever since that series, the Garrosh has been a permaban. Okay, every game since then, including this game right now, no Garrosh allowed.
It's a good position for a team to be in when you have a hero that people feel like you're playing so well that you have to ban it or you won't win. It fundamentally changes your team's entire draft strategy, because you get a hero, you get to have more access to heroes that otherwise are considered completely OP, right? And there's actually there was a Korean team that actually had a similar dynamic where Judy was considered by far and away the best Garrosh, not only just in Korea but in the world, and people would always ban Garrosh against. So they got to play different heroes that instead of banning something that was considered OP, they got to play the other stuff.
I would love to play on a team like that one day that always eats free bans. Sounds like a cool experience. As we now see Blaze and Li Ming getting picked up right here for Three-Legged Cat. Li Ming virtually, as I said in a previous cast with Cav, virtually always picked before third ban here in Masters Clash. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 100% popularity before third ban, and that's going to continue right here, even into Breeze's Anubarak. And speaking of Breeze here, really all of Granit Gaming still such a question mark. Cav, you don't have to give up any info, but what's your reading on GG at the current state of the season?
I mean, the best they've looked was when they had to sub Quacknixon for CCL. And for Masters Clash, they just haven't looked 100% consistent, and that checks out, right? There haven't been, even though they've been playing other MOBAs, I think Smexy and Poik are both either Challenger or going for Challenger in League right now. It's not enough to be practicing purely mechanics and to be able to push buttons, right? There's a lot of timings, a lot of rhythm, and they're essentially relying on past experience to carry them without actually practicing very much. And they have a lot of experience. They have experience in some cases of being literally the best players in the world at their role or on a specific hero. Is that enough? Like, so far, they've taken like a map and then not been able to win the rest of the series pretty consistently, right? So it's just, they're never going to be consistent. Practice, or consistency requires practice. It's just the way it is.
Absolutely. That is one of the core tenets of getting better at anything, is you have to do the thing and practice and think about and largely get coached on the thing. But still, definitely, for me at least, a big question mark. And I'm interested to see what exactly they can pull out here in what may potentially be their final series of Masters Clash, or maybe they're going to turn it on, pull out some of that old HGC magic, and try to progress through the Gauntlet. I am unsure, but that is an interesting team comp right there. And I look at this Granit Gaming team after having picked all 5 of their characters, and the one word that comes to mind for me is just fragile. All right, these are very squishy characters picked at virtually every position. It's an interesting set of decisions, but certainly a lot of offensive firepower. What do you make of that, Cav?
I mean, this is a very technical comp. So fragile is the right word. Like, if you compare Thrall to something like Blaze in a straight-up fight, very fragile. If you compare Chromie to Cassia, very fragile. But what this comp has is a lot of mobility in the Kharazim, Genji, and Nubarak trio, and then a lot of anchoring potential, where as long as you play safely, you're unlikely to die in the Chromie and the Thrall. That doesn't have a lot of race, but theoretically, if everyone goes in at the same time, goes on the same target, they can get a pick. They can pick someone off, even through the kind of save potential that Uther has, and then they can dip, and then they can reset and do it again. That's a hard thing to do. Like, that is literally, in some ways, the hardest style of comp to play in the entire game. Because of the coordination required from all 5 members of the team in terms of rotational prio, like getting there in time. And even on BOE with only 2 lanes, Thrall doesn't have a lot of wave clear. So, like, waiting for the Thrall or Thrall leaving at the correct time, this is hard. I don't like GG's chances, honestly, because they drafted a comp that, again, is very difficult to play when they haven't been practicing.
We'll see if they're able to pull it off right here, as we have loaded into the first game of the day. This is going to be Granit Gaming facing off against Three-Legged Cat. Three-Legged Cat, of course, is the number 7 overall rated team after the end of the regular season, and they are now facing off against Granit Gaming, the number 5 rated team. If they manage to beat GG, they will face off against Rage Quit Gaming, or rather, whoever wins this series will face off against Rage Quit Gaming in our next series, which will be the final series of the Gauntlet, the last of the play before finale. But real quick, let's get into the players here. For Three-Legged Cat, coming off 2 series victories yesterday, we have Johan Ayaya on the ever-so-fitting Johanna, Captain Rex on the Uther, he's breaking that Rehgar one-tricking streak, Drakir on the Cassia, and Hireth on the Li Ming. And up top is, of course, my try on Blaze. I did that totally off memory. Cav, who do we have for left side GG here?
We have Azurite on Chromie, and after pushing top and coming down, we have Make on Genji, Smexy on Kharazim, Breeze on Anubarak, and Whoopi top lane on Thrall. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that Granit Gaming even made this rotation. They actually push a little bit harder than Three-Legged Cat does, and this was a meta thing to do on BOE. If you had better push, you would just go to the opposite lane and trade. And it especially when you have something like a Genji, if you open up the map by getting the entire fort, it makes the game significantly easier for Genji to play, to run people down. So they ended up trading tower for tower, and you can see how much faster they must have pushed, right? If they both got a tower, but Granite Gaming had time to rotate down and almost force the fight, I guarantee you that this for 2018, Granite would have just stayed top and pushed. So again, it's that decision making. They're not consistent the way they used to be.
Okay. It is certainly something that I'm sure you of all people could point out, having seen so much HGC in your time, having watched so much of it, and notice those patterns among those teams, as we see the Genji rotation now towards top lane. Meanwhile, Three-Legged Cat just continuing to shove down this bot gate, having finished the sidewalls first. I always think the gate looks kind of naked when the sidewalls are down. And here we see Thrall. What's up?
It's like those turnstiles, the theft prevention turnstiles at like markets and stores and stuff.
Yeah, the ones you just walk through. Yeah. I love the comparison. I totally get what you're talking about here. As both teams now starting to file towards their bruisers. Drakir at least in the area. Breeze actually scouting it out. Meanwhile, we have 3 members of Granite Gaming doing the bruisers on the left side of the map. Still no start yet by the members of Three-Legged Cat onto their own. And is that Alpha Wolf? Frost Wolf pack. Alpha Wolf is the 16 talent, but still, that is an interesting choice right there, particularly for the Thrall. I'll be honest, I don't know enough about Thrall builds to really judge it. But
so this is probably... This is the strongest talent at level 4 if you complete it. But the problem is, if you ever miss a route, it resets. So it's really important to pick it and then root a hero and then never miss it again until you finish. It's only 6 stacks. You only have to hit 6 routes in a row. You just save it for follow-ups, you see, and then once it's done, you get a lot of value out of the later talents like Alpha Wolf.
So once it's done, you can't drop it at that point? Or
yeah, once it's done, it's done. It'll never be uncompleted.
Okay, that's good to know, because that shows you how much Thrall I play. I'm too busy hating on all the Thralls in my games in the offlane. As now both teams make it to halftime here. A significant race lead for Granite Gaming. Breeze now hopping the Burrow Charge, getting away from Three-Legged Cat. Three-Legged Cat largely zoning off, buying time for Hereth to simply race it out. Hereth, you can see on the right side of your screen. Dark Matter also chiming in. We've got a 3-way cast going. Me, Cav, and his cat. And Breeze now goes in on my try. And so far, just Azurite poking away largely. Smexy also getting his punches in on this Immortal. Thrall starting to back off right here, dropping very low, but will not go down just quite yet.
Yeah, no one dying there, but Hereth racing the entire time. Li Ming's reset, by the way, is a global, so if they had managed to get a kill, she would have increased her race speed. OP. But, Uther and Joe going down. They better win the Immortal for those kills. If they don't win the Immortal there, okay.
Granite Gaming simultaneously getting the double kill and the Immortal. That is quite the way to open it up. Although do remember that because the Immortal generally goes to the less pushed lane, after Granite Gaming got some chip damage onto top and took out a tower, that does mean that the Immortal will come bot lane here. Breeze chain stunning Drakir over the wall, able to take out about 60% of his HP, but he's got an Uther and a tap. And what's Smexy doing in the back here?
He's waiting to see if they can catch someone coming, like stepping too far behind the fort, and he would act as the finisher. It's an interesting thing you can do as Karazim, where you don't necessarily have an insane heal button or like a mini game where you have to be pushing the button constantly. You can sort of float around, look for flanks, kill someone off with your E, and then dash back to your team. Really interesting to note that they won that Immortal pretty much because they have slightly better poke, and it isn't to solo support Uther. So they may not be able to win the side lanes necessarily unless they gank, which they just did on the Blaze, but they actually will win relatively extended fights.
As Breeze now running away, going on a hero's journey right here, trying to sidestep Hereth. Oh, the Arcane Orb will land onto him. Here's Captain Rex for the intercept. Breeze immediately turns around, and I think he's finally, there it is. He's finally gonna go down now after a significant chase around the entire map. Maybe just distracting the enemy team, but it doesn't look like Granit Gaming did too much with the space created at the same time. Now three-legged cat here setting up for a bot lane push.
Yeah, that's the one unfortunate thing about that death. Sometimes it's correct just to die. Like, don't even worry about extending your death if you know you're going to die no matter what. Like, if they had been right on the verge of getting level 9, your death timer increases with level, so it would have been really good to die before he increased the death timer. But they staggered it out enough. They do lose the fort as a result, but they pretty much trade it for top. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Like, that was only 2 people pushing, right? Maybe, no. Yeah, like, they just, Granit Gaming pushes so much harder. They could have just traded the forts earlier, right, from level 1, but opted to make that rotation instead. It feels like, it almost feels disrespectful that they feel like they can outplay three-legged cat in team fights, so they're trying to force more team fights than I think they normally would.
I don't know if that's disrespect or if it's just confidence, and the line between the two certainly can be a little blurry as Granit Gaming unlocks their level 10 talents here, and Breeze hopping over the wall is quickly followed by Smexy utilizing this heroic talent to your advantage. There's going to be a quick clear of the point with Wubby sundering over the wall, but it does have some counter synergy with the Genji X-Drake clearing everybody out for it, and Granit Gaming secures the Bruiser camp, but at the cost of Breeze's life. Now, there's the Blessed Shield onto Thrall, going to be followed up immediately by Hireth and Drakir setting up the kill right there, and that's a double kill now, evening up the kill count for three-legged cat.
So that's that thing I was talking about in the draft, where if you go in all at the same time and everything hits, then you can get a kill. But if you go in all at the same time and there's any sort of anti-synergy or any missed execution, you will just automatically lose. That was that exact fight. They had a disagreement about whether or not they were playing for the point with the Sunder or playing for kills with the X-Strike, and where that was going to go. And they won the Immortal, though. I mean, if they keep winning Immortals, but even if they lose fights, it's still going to be good for them.
Yep, winning objective is pretty solid, especially on a map like Battlefield, where the objective actually gets stuff done. Looking at you, Garden of Terror. Alrighty, now we push in onto this bot fort. Granit Gaming looking to take their second fort of the game. They are eventually sending all 5 heroes here, but by the time Smexy and Azerite get here, I think this Immortal is going to be on its deathbed. Drakir actually going in on Wubby, Lightning Ball, trying to finish him off, gets him down to 113, but not able to finish off the kill. Now Granit Gaming picking off Cassia, still pushing forward here. Oh, wait, the Unstoppable! Captain Rex actually cleansed Breeze's cocoon onto Maitri, but it only delays the inevitable as Maitri gets finished off by Azerite with that Dragon's Breath and Sandblast combo. That was a crazy sequence right there, actually.
Yeah, they ran it down and they won. I was really surprised to see Cassia go in that aggressively. Generally, you don't. Cassias are aggressive when their team is winning, and they try to like snowball without exposing their vulnerability of being a relatively short-range hero. It's unusual to be in a losing position like that, where the Immortal is pushing, and to see a Cassia playing very, very aggressively. I wonder if they're feeling desperate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're so behind as to warrant a sense of high desperation. I mean, at this point, they're effectively just down a fort, although certainly all this camp pressure is certainly going to pressure onto them bot side. Hold on a second. Now, there's just a little bit of a scuffle back and forth bot lane. Nobody gonna die just quite yet. Breeze camping out here. All this camp pressure, 3 camps simultaneously pushing lanes. Level 13 advantage is being enjoyed by Granit Gaming now, who are playing a rather split approach as their camps approach.
Yeah, they were looking for the pick onto Blaze, but Blaze was running in circles mounted right outside this gate. They saw that and they're like, okay, we're not going to be able to kill that. It's not likely to happen. But then they pretended to leave and okay.
That to me feels like disrespect. That to me feels like, okay, we expect Maitri to step out and soak even though we're all off vision. And there's only 2 places we can be, is either ganking top or ganking bottom. So to expect Maitri to step out right there does feel a little disrespectful to me. Maitri not falling for it, but now Granit Gaming solidly and handily winning the first half of the race right here, a roughly 7,000 point Immortal health lead, as Maitri goes in for the stun onto Wubby. Oh, there's the Blessed Shield.
Wubby's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, there's no way, right? Like, focus. Oh my god!
Oh, my trying to get the jet propulsion. It will get cocooned right out, but there is Hireth clearing it out. And now Genji deflecting an entire Li Ming combo. That's going to give him a big augmented guard. It's a 1-for-1 between these two teams, still trading hits back and forth. Make's X-Strike lands onto approximately nothing. My try will be next to fall, making it 2-for-1 in favor of Granit Gaming. They continue the chase. Now Breeze looking at them. Drakir quite healthy, but their teammates not so much. Breeze still looking with the aggressive scouting, hits the double impale, but it's merely just some interference and some scouting, while the rest of the members of Granit Gaming finish off this Immortal.
Yeah, they're gonna get another Immortal. I can't believe how long Wubby lived for. It felt like some people in 3 League account were like, oh, that kill's guaranteed to happen at this point, and didn't just keep pushing buttons. There's no kill like overkill. Push your buttons. especially in Li Ming comp, because Li Ming is going to get her buttons back, which is a huge consideration. Yeah.
That was
Granit Gaming definitively won the back half of the fight.
That was a really bad habit that I got from WoW, is that I would switch targets in dungeons a little bit before the target would die to try and do more DPS. And
Don't do that in a MOBA.
Don't do that in MOBAs. And now Granit Gaming sieging as 5 here onto this top keep. Their 16s are coming relatively soon. If 3-Legged Cat could get a fight before 16, it would have to happen right about now. That's a Sunder over the wall, followed up by the 7-sided strike from Smexy. Drakir will be first to fall. Breeze immediately evening it back up, but 16's now picked up by Granit Gaming. 3-Legged Cat, it's a 2-for-1 in their favor, and now they're going to try and save this top keep.
That gives you an idea of how nice it is for that kill to be instantly secured, because they killed the Cassie had died, but then they got the counter kill on the Anub'arak, and then instantly Genji also died because Li Ming got buttons back. Like, you really need to play for that initial pick in Li Ming comps, ideally, without, and ideally not getting picked yourself. And they have those tools for that. They have bunker. I like this backdoor. They're waiting to see where the enemy team shows. If they show in lane, they'll be able to run at the keep.
Oh, Drakir's gonna see them though.
Oh,
wait, what?
Nope.
2 ships passing in the night. There's the 7-sided strike onto Drakir, who does have teammates with them, but now Smexy is like, see you later, nerd, I'm getting out of here. There's the Blessed Shield onto Smexy, sets up the Li Ming combo. Granit Gaming sacrificing 2 of their members, maybe not intending to accidentally run into Drakir on the approach. Captain Rex, unfortunately, the Hammer of Justice is wasted on Breeze's burrow charge right there. And that happened, Kev.
Yeah, they've essentially have lost the entirety of their experience lead in order to secure the keep. I don't know if that's a worthwhile trade. They were thinking, okay, the minion wave's passing here. We're gonna have several seconds where they don't know, but Drakir happened to be walking by. Anub'arak goes down as well. That is not good. Staggering like that at this stage of the game. They basically just lost halftime because of that kill. Like, anyone who's low on 3-Legged Cat can back while everyone else races, and that's not a good thing. Someone does need to deal with this bot lane. Blaze should be doing that while everyone else races, but it looks like Drakir is going to do it because he had to back. Everyone else racing.
And I don't know if you saw, Kev, but Azurite dipped to 6 HP. One more tick of Disintegrate would have finished him off. And hold on a second. Wow, this burst. Good golly. All right, 3-Legged Cat.
Yeah. It's fragile, right? They have to go in as 5, which you literally can't do if someone's dead.
Absolutely. We identified that in the draft, and it's certainly playing out in reality right here. And now what I'm noticing, I hate that this is like just not tall enough, this camera view, to get both of the Immortals in. Just
rotate the camera.
Oh yeah, I don't think I have that. Oh, I do have it bound. Nice.
There you go.
Alrighty. Let's get ready for this vertical lane push right here. You know, like, oh, this is such a new angle. I bet you never thought about Heroes of the Storm like this, friends. Oh, look at that. Oh man, this is twisting my brain right now. Is Smexy, it feels like I'm looking at a different game, dude. I don't even know what's happening here, but there, down goes Smexy. He will get popped. I look at it and I'm like, I know the map and I know the layout, and it still makes no sense to me. Here we see Wubby on the back door, simply trying to force certain members of Three-Legged Cat to back. Meanwhile, Three-Legged Cat sieging Botkeep with this Immortal. They do have all 5 members alive versus only 3 defending members of Granit Gaming. And I must point out that of those 3 defending members, Chromie is the only hero here that really has any kind of solid base defense, anti-push. The other 3 heroes are just kind of cheerleading right now, trying to keep the Chromie alive and chip in whatever damage they can. But Three-Legged Cat continues the push with a healthy Immortal, but look at the core on the other side.
They're losing the game.
Look at the core on the other side. Hold on a second.
Catapults are good, as it turns out, and Wubby had one and then sacked one more. As long as they don't die, what? As long as they don't die, they should win their ace. But they all died. I think Genji was actually so useless on that defense that if Genji had also gone for the back door, they would have won.
Oh, absolutely. What was that?
I mean,
let's take a look at that scoreboard, that post-game scoreboard.
I think that was their highest chance to win, to be fair, because I think there's no chance they defend a full shield Immortal. But like the inting away of their lead was a multi-minute process that they worked really hard on.
Oh my gosh, the staggers. That was multiple staggers over the course of several minutes. I almost wonder if that Breeze chase was the spiritual sort of starter of that stagger sequence throughout the lanes. Somebody needs to put in the Benny Hill music, all right, with Breeze right there running away. What a way to end the first game, meaning that Granit Gaming will have first pick right here. Is going to be interesting after dropping, according to Cav, their highest maybe win rate map. Let's see if they come back with a vengeance, if they're a little bit more focused. Everybody lean forward in your gaming chairs. Put on your serious face. Let's see what happens here in game number 2.
I don't keep as detailed stats of Master Slash as I do other tournaments because the replays aren't publicly available, which makes it difficult, but they are 13-15 in the regular season Master Class. I believe 7 of those wins were BOE, and the other 6 were scattered across multiple different maps. So it's not even like by a small margin.
If 7 of their 13, they're 13-5, you said?
13-15.
13-15. Oh, okay. Wow. 13-15. Okay. Okay, that is an interesting stat for sure. We'll see how things shake out for GG after winning what should normally be their strongest map. Here in game number 2, still refusing to let Johan Ayaya ever pick up a Garrosh. I'm interested to see if Three-Legged Cat makes it past GG here. Will Rage Quit Gaming do the same? Will their LAN opponents do the same? Who knows? Regardless, but there is still a long way to go before Three-Legged Cat can be thinking about LAN here. As Wubby picks up that first pick, Blaze, Captain Rex, he's back to one trick in Regar, and Drakir picks up the Lunara.
That's an interesting priority on the Lunara, because there's not an insane number of bushes on Towers of Doom where you can really control a lot of things with rotations with Wisp. But there are a few that are really critical, including just around the bottom sappers. You can look for that invade, and pretty much every altar. So Lunara is really good if you play very disciplined. Ooh, that's a good pickup. Oh, that's scary.
Ooh, Breeze gonna be on that Tyrael and Tyrande for Smexy. What's so scary about it, Kev?
So Tyrael is good into Lunara because of Justice for All. It mitigates the ability to double your entire team for like a decent amount, mitigates a significant portion of the damage, but also Tyrande is insanely good at just getting picks. And Tyrael, despite most people believe, you don't need CC for getting a pick necessarily. You just need to be able to run people down. But Tyrael's slow is just barely not enough to guarantee the Tyrande stun. So if assuming someone doesn't move instantly as soon as Tyrael goes on them, you're going to get stunned. You have to be like actually moving. When he had the 35% slow talent at level 4, it was actually enough to guarantee the stun no matter what, unless someone used a movement ability. So again, technical comp, but Tyrael Tyrande is actually one of the best tank healer pick duos in the entire game.
I would certainly love to see some of that play out right there. Specifically speaking about that combo, I'm even just thinking about Swift Ret speeding up the Tyrande, getting all that extra healing on your team. Oh, Swift Ret always amazing every time you have an auto attacker. But another way I've seen Tyrael used, I'm not quite sure if Breeze will pull it out here, but something I've seen from Dino that I really spoke about in my CCL analysis VOD from a few weeks ago was we've seen Dino just bully Tyraels in this series when he's playing for Chili Mountain, in this tournament when he's playing for Chili Mountain, by just going full Ardent Restoration, into Smite, into Burning Halo, and that build is just able to get on top of Lunara, stand in her face for a moment, trade into her super positively, and then back off with no commitment, really. I doubt Breeze will play that style. It's a bit more of a new school Tyrael build, so to speak. But I think it has been very effective here, and it could potentially be a good option if he decided to go for it.
It has a lot of self-healing, which is the primary motivator for it. And if you heal for more, even if your damage is average, if you heal for a bunch while doing a bunch of damage, eventually over time you will end up trading up. I hope we don't see... So in CCL, Breeze played full auto attack Tyrael into a Johanna, and didn't get a lot of value out of talents because he was blinded the whole time from 2 charges of blind. I'm really hoping we don't see that again. It was not good. I've come around to the idea that auto attack Tyrael is pickable in competitive comps in some situations, but not into blinds. It's just,
I mean, even the Rehgar auto attack slow on the totem could also be a factor as well. Just for something else to think about here as we wait to load in. I mean, I'm interested to see what this Cassia is also going to do. Not a ton of hard CC, which is what Cassia likes to go up against. She likes to go up against not a lot of hard CC. She doesn't want things that are going to reset her avoidance, drop her back down to 0 armor, and take away a lot of her tankiness. And I'm looking at the draft here for Three-Legged Cat, and I'm like, their only stun is Condemn. Johanna's mini stun on Condemn when she sucks everybody in is the only real way before level 10 that Three-Legged Cat is going to be able to reset this Cassia's armor. I think we might see a very tanky, aggressive performance here from Azerite.
Maybe. According to Dino, he copied that build from Breeze, by the way. And I agree with Dino on this point. Auto attack Tyrael is far easier to play than any of the other versions of Tyrael.
Oh, absolutely.
You just hit people, like it's not hard. And the other versions of Tyrael are very technical by comparison.
Absolutely. He is definitely... I've always thought of him as the support tank, really. As we now come in here and let's look at Make on that Sylvanas. We got Azerite up in the bottom on Cassia. Smexy going to be playing Tyrande this game. Wubby, or as the Europeans like to call him, Wooby, because the Europeans are getting in my chat complaining about some of the pronunciation. And Breeze going to be on that Tyrael. Meanwhile, who do we have for Three-Legged Cat here, Kev?
We have Captain Rex on Rehgar, Hirath on Hanzo, Maitri on the Irel, getting Goomba stomping the wave, Drakir on Lunara, and Johanna I on Johanna.
Again, always so fitting, able to get in on exactly the character that matches your name. Oh, and there's Azerite just fending in. As soon as Hanzo appears, maybe a poorly timed fend. Johanna Ayayal, though, also taking a lot of damage. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade between these two teams. Make trying to make it a 2-for-1. I don't know in which team's direction, though. Hirath now going to take some big damage in the back. Oh, that's a raw stun onto Drakir. Yeah. I feel like that shouldn't happen.
It should not, but Smexy is one of the 2 best players was one of the 2 best players in the world at landing raw stuns on Tyrande. So,
how good of a skill is that? Like,
I mean, it's basically predictive, right? You have to anticipate where the enemy team is going to move to, and you have to sort of think, are they distracted enough that they're not going to dodge, or do they feel like there's enough threat on them that they have to keep running in that direction no matter what? And I don't know, Smexy's just very good at it. He always has been. I don't have any explanation for how you would practice to be good at that other than just casting the ability a lot and seeing if it hits and then trying to figure out why it worked that time.
Practice certainly always a large element here, as Granit Gaming still sticking around and fighting this 3v4 despite losing Tyrande and... Oh, there's the dead Lunara right there. But despite losing Tyrande and Sylvanas earlier in the fight, Granit Gaming able to at least even the kill count here, not backing down. But Wubby now, gets his jet propulsion intercepted by Mindtry as they try to finish him off and succeed. Now, 4 kills to 3 in favor of Three-Legged Cat, 7 kills in the first 2 minutes of this game right here. Meanwhile, I think they may have wanted to tank those sappers in place to prevent them from detonating, but Granit Gaming receiving the full load of their sappers onto their own wall. Certainly not what you want there in that early game, getting that push pressure out onto your wall. Bot tower, the most crucial of all the bell towers, as well as a right tapping in bottom.
I really need Granite Gaming to secure a kill, and then another one, and then for the Cat to also secure a kill, so we can keep up with the trend we had at level 3, where every team was the same level with the same kill count. I just want to whole game. I want to be level 10, 10 kills to 10 kills. Level 12, 12 kills to 12 kills. I want the bloodbath to continue.
Absolutely. And bloodbath is always such an interesting word. I remember being in a scrim one time. As we now see Breeze and Jakir trading out some hits right here. Let's take a look at those talents, by the way. I'll talk about the scrim thing later. That is going to be Justice for All, not the bad Tyrael 1 talent, as Cav was sure to rage about most of the time. And now here, Breeze chasing down Johanna, dropping down to 25 HP at one point, trying to get him. Here's Wubby on the scene as well. Wubby going to completely ignore the Johanna, simply just getting the damage, going to finish off Captain Rex. Oh, Breeze will survive thanks to the healing and support of teammates, both Tyrande and Tyrael. Now kicking in, helping him out there. I guess helping himself out. What's up?
And the follow-ups on there did a lot as well. Tehran just again, Smexy. Oof. Spooky.
Ooh, hero.
Ooh. Oh, yes. Yes. Keep dying. Let's do that. These kill counts are rookie numbers. We gotta get these numbers up. This is the sort of the Rhaegar build we've been seeing with the Purge talent at level 7. The upgrade ever since the totem was nerfed. I know you said you wanted to see the totem into the Cassia, but it's not something we've been seeing too much lately since the nerfs. We have seen occasionally. Q build coming out of Hanzo, but still with the W at 7. Auto build from Cassia. Nothing too unexpected from any of the players, actually. Pretty meta talents across the board, other than maybe debatably what Tyrael's doing.
And Breeze actually almost killing Johan Ayaya, just to appease some of our European viewers in here. And now Hiref able to jump away. Unfortunately, the levels do appear to be outpacing the kill counts, and Blaze, all the way at level 8, still yet to lock in. There it is right there, his level 7 talent, nanomachine coding. I'm not sure what took so long. This, to me, feels like a clear nanomachine coding game. I doubt that's simple forgetfulness. What's going on there?
It's a spell build for Hanzo, right? It's Q build. It's also into Lunara, who, even though she applies her poison via auto-attacking, about half her damage actually ends up coming from abilities. So there's an argument that you could go the reduced spell power and it would actually do a little bit more this game. He was probably debating it. He probably settled on nanomachine coding anyway, because in a weird way, slowing Lunara's attack speed does in some cases also prevent the poison damage because she doesn't get the stacks up quite as quickly. And auto attacks are spooky. Like a Hanzo without auto build still hits really hard. Rhaegar still has a decent auto. Autos do more damage than people think. Yep. So.
And also slowing down Hanzo's autos does limit the generation of more scatter arrow cooldown reduction. Wubby gonna take some damage right there, forced to use the Pyromania. Level 10's now being achieved for Three-Legged Cat. There's GG, got him right behind him. Everybody locking their tents at light speed. Some quick ults being dropped right here. Sanctification and Wailing Arrow both used. Meanwhile, almost every ult is available for the members of Three-Legged Cat to use if they would like. 4 ults down on the side of GG, and Three-Legged Cat can find a fight on this bottom bell tower. I can't help but think it's very inclined to go in their favor.
Yeah, the Sanct plus Bunker overlap there was decidedly not what Granite Gaming wanted to have happen. You have these defensives, you generally only want to use one of them. I'm a little surprised that this is Shadow Stock. Generally, Shadow Stock is something we see picked to deny point and click abilities. It was very meta versus Diablo, for instance. If you thought Diablo was going to look at, like, if Diablo hit APOC, you would instantly hit Shadow Stock, and then Diablo wouldn't be able to click on you with Q to do any sort of combo. But it is something that can also have a tech pick in the sense that you can use it for the stealth. Oh, that's a short range arrow, but it's enough.
Hey, that was medium range stun though. It's actually quite short to get the medium range stun, and that was instantly followed up by the Blessed Shield. A good solid engage by Three-Legged Cat, who so far, despite being down on core health, have won multiple fights. They have invaded the Granite Gaming Sapper camp multiple times, looking absolutely solid here, transitioning now over to the mid clear. And what a nice little bit of aggression right there, using those ults for Three-Legged Cat.
Yeah, that's something you should be doing a lot as Hanzo. You should people look for the big 5-man arrows. Just literally on cooldown, look for an arrow that you think will secure a kill, chuck it. It is the better way to play the hero. You also get more practice hitting arrows, so it's OP. Cat and Rex channeling here. They are trying to get the interrupt. They do barely get it. Johanna actually sacrificing her D and most of her health bar in order to try to prevent the stall, and not quite managing to make it work. Wubby coming in. Is it the Saints? Oh, everyone's alive.
Not sure why people in the chat are saying Marlo. I set my title multiple times to say that you're the co-caster, Cav, but interesting right there. That fight, nobody dying in the initial foray into that fight. Dragon Arrow heading off towards the North Pole, and now Make. I guess you'd have to shoot it straight up, right? Because no matter where you are, north is just straight up on a map at least. But regardless,
pretty sure space is straight up. Oh, on a map, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, on a map. Hey man, I want to go to Canada.
They are on a map, to be fair. So
that is true. It's just like, oh, I want to go to Canada. Where do I get in the elevator? All right, it's now both teams trading damage here. Granite Gaming has 13 as they chase into the kill zone with Wubby using the bunker. The Condemn will interrupt the jet propulsion. Azurite trying to follow up, taking a lot of damage in the meantime as Granite Gaming completes this bottom bell tower. Might try looking at the potential flank though. 13s now have been secured by the members of Three-Legged Cat. Sorry, got a little bit distracted by Breeze just absolutely going in on Lunara. Gonna go ahead and Hearth right on out of here as now Three-Legged Cat licking their wounds a bit. Lunara going back, but they're setting up to take what's theirs and get this bottom bell tower back.
Yeah, this is a huge position for Granite to be in. Even though it's even levels and it's actually 6 kills to 5, Granite's kills have mattered more because of the way their comp works with the Sylvanas. They can enable the pushes more strongly. Even Tyrael shielding a minion wave pushes a little bit harder. So they've gotten a little bit more out of it. Meanwhile, their walls in the other lanes are actually in pretty good shape because of Wubby. Azurite setting it. Arrow on cooldown. It's a good strat. People should try.
Turns out that when you can just hit every raw arrow and raw stun and what have you, things go pretty well, especially against Cassia, who loses all her armor when she gets stunned. Hireth now going to jump the wall to get right on out of here. The members of Three-Legged Cat simply just bailing after getting that double kill. Wubby going to get interrupted by a well-placed sonic arrow from Hireth right there, not able to get the steal off. It would have been quite a good play if he was able to get it, but now Captain Rex able to secure the second altar capture of the game for Three-Legged Cat right here. Three-Legged Cat certainly winning fights, but they want to be able to turn that into actual advantages as they have struggled to get damage off of Granite Gaming's core so far in this game. Meanwhile, though, on the bottom half of the map, Sylvanas currently stealing the Sapper camp of Three-Legged Cat, able to get it. That will threaten core damage unless 3LC can clear it later.
It's an interesting dynamic, too, because if that goes in, they get 3 shots, but because they're down in structures, if Three-Legged Cat caps this, they only get 3 shots, but if they don't cap it, they're looking at a potential 8 shots that they have to deal with if they don't immediately rotate and clear the sappers.
No cap, indeed.
Well, there's an argument that they should have given the altar and Cotton bottom back and sort of stabilized the game just at a lower health count. But see, because now they're in the position where, okay, now we have to clear bottom, and everyone's alive. They still have the Sylvanas. They're going to clear mid. And yeah, Three-Legged Cat has to get 16, and they have to get bottom back, and then they have to hopefully get a winning, like definitively winning team fight, and they are struggling.
You know, I've always thought that being ahead in Heroes of the Storm kind of feels like subjecting the enemy team to a game of whack-a-mole, right? It's like, oh, come over here, you have to clear this camp, but while you're clearing the camp, we get the objective, and while you're, defending against the objective, we take this other thing, and you just sort of perpetually have your opponents one step behind, because there's always something they need to deal with right now, and while they're dealing with that thing right now, you're just setting up the next thing that they're going to have to deal with. Now, meanwhile...
And the remarkable thing here is that Granite Gaming did that while down 2 people, right? They had 2 people dead, Three-Legged Cat had everyone alive, and Three-Legged Cat still couldn't get ahead on the whacking of the moles.
It can be a very frustrating experience indeed. I will say, I feel like there's nothing more tilting in the general macro sense of HotS than just getting camp stolen. It feels like a 2-camp swing, as Johanna now simply camping in the bush with a Blessed Shield in the face of Sylv. Dragon Arrow going to miss yet again in roughly the exact same place and orientation. Nobody gonna go down just quite yet. Three-Legged Cat, only 8 HP on their core. Meanwhile, 33 in the hands of Granit. They would love to be able to get some damage in right here. Wubby now looking for the invade of the top right altar, and it looks like there's just going to be so many different mini fights happening at the same time here. Now, my try in the middle of multiple members of Granite Gaming starting to back off and buy time for Captain Rex and Drakir to show up. Smexy successfully capturing the top left altar. Meanwhile, the scuffle continues on the bottom side of the map for bottom altar as well. Cassia going down for Granite Gaming here in the top side. Smexy able to get another stall. Wubby just trying to exist here and hang out, but with the poison, he will fall. There it is right there. Captain Rex able to secure that turret. And now, hold on, Sanctification trying to use it to get the capture, but Hireth able to stall it just last second. Wait a minute, Make, what are you doing?
So that's the I made a mistake, I need to make up for it by making a play dynamic, where Make could have just continued to channel and then gotten the altar guaranteed with the Sanct. Then he's like, oh, I stopped channeling, I messed it up, and then he tried to make a play to make up for it and died. It's
absolutely wild right there. I can definitely relate. And I'm almost inclined, Cav, to name that after a certain character in particular. I feel like what you're describing I would call Zeratul syndrome. I feel like...
Oh, God.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree.
I have felt in my time playing Heroes of the Storm, as we see Captain Rex, I think actually capping that too early? I think, to get all the 6 shots in? I think he only got 5, but I could be wrong about that one. But there's one thing that I've noticed as a pattern among competitive HotS players, even some of the best, is that when they play Zeratul, they try to get flashy with it, and they just end games away. Even some of the best right there. Because he's such a fragile hero, and he's so... He really depends on the fluidity of your mechanics and getting it exactly right. So I could certainly see that playing out. And now, Three-Legged Cat just completely ignoring the attempted steal as they go for the engage right here.
Oh, insane arrow. Huge Blessed Shield follow-up. Insta pop on the Tyrael. No Sanct getting off for you, even if it wasn't on cooldown. And they managed to save mid. Mid is very, very low, though. I actually really want Three-Legged Cat to consider the fact that boss is going to be spawning, and that it would actually be good for them to be able to threaten a 6 cap to really catch up on shots. So I'd really like Urel, and maybe even someone else to go top and start stacking the wave. Bottom is the easiest one to get back when you have control of the map because of the sapper camps, but they're not doing it.
Oh, Wubby, wow, wait, what is this double kill? All the way deep in the kill zone by Three-Legged Cat immediately before this next objective, and they do appear to be threatening the 6 cap. Make actually just E'd forward. I saw that on the minimap. Wait, Make has no idea. Oh, hold on. There's the Will of the Forsaken. After hitting the camp a few times, he does have another Shadow Wave, but he's not able to get it off. And just another pick-off by Three-Legged Cat right here, who, despite having a very low HP core, are just sort of marching forward and taking Granit down.
Yeah, despite picking Chen in this series 0 times, Granit Gaming has the best staggers so far.
That's a pretty good one. It's not. Johanna caps the bottom altar here. And one thing I just really had to point out about the sustained map control in the late game here by Three-Legged Cat is Urel simply just able to hop, 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 hop over this wall right here. We saw consistently my try went, okay, I'm defending bottom, okay, I'm killing mid, okay, now I need to go back bottom, okay. And then he just keeps hopping over that wall, and it just allows seamless, mega quick rotations by the members of Three-Legged Cat into whatever fight they want to take here as they control this map.
Yeah, going over walls turns out it's pretty good. In fact, there's a weird dynamic with Li Ming teleport that someone reminded me of the other day, which is that if you take Aetherwalker, it's actually faster to just E and never mount. Not even accounting for the fact that you can go over walls, and then once you have Illusionist at 6 and you can go over more walls, it can become markedly faster on a variety of maps. Like, it's the equivalent of 160% movement speed if you can go over certain walls on a rotation.
Absolutely bonkers. It's something that you see on a lot of different maps. Genji Agile Dismount's certainly a factor as well whenever you're talking about Braxis holdout. As Breeze now stepping up forward very aggressively toward the members of Three-Legged Cat, trying to secure some information about where they are. Oh, wait, Wubby dashes into the Dragon Arrow, is going to just face tank it. Azerite is the next target for Three-Legged Cat. Sanctification and Bunker do come out, though. Granit Gaming has a litany of save tools and team protection for their squad here today. Wubby now trying to land the jet propulsion onto Johanna Yaya, not going to be able to find it, and Granit Gaming chooses not to fight under the Three-Legged Cat mid-bell tower.
No one won that fight, but because they have mid, Three-Legged Cat theoretically could give this altar if they really felt like they needed to. And I don't know if that's going to happen with Sanct and Bunker down and Wailing Arrow and letting Ball Lightning up. They might want to give it, honestly, and use the fact that they have slightly better ults up to just do boss instead, even though that is very risky.
I think if you're Three-Legged Cat, you gotta go for it. You gotta go for it and contest this objective. As we see GG and multiple members of their team dropping extremely low, and this is a situation where Tyrande is really not great at healing back up her whole team in a jiffy. Now, Dragon Arrow and Bullseye both not going to be able to land onto Wubby. Smexy able to get the successful Owl interrupts right there. Wubby still over here on the flank looking for it. Meanwhile, there's Make taking very much damage in the left side of the screen. The poison gonna finish him off by Lunara. Blessed Shield hitting literally nothing now, but Wubby is the next target, is inside that bunker. Wubby dropping so... Oh wait, he got the invulnerable and still died. Okay. Now, Smexy is next to be chased. That is so weird to me that the text shows up as invulnerable before you're even invulnerable, but now the members of Three-Legged Cat simply just pushing out, and they will finish off Breeze. Azerite now contesting, but he will certainly be next to fall here off of Three-Legged Cat, getting the full team wipe, and that's gotta be game.
So now we find out a Three-Legged Cat can do math. They need 9 shots, boss up. They need to convert exactly 1 bell tower, cap the altar, and then do boss. Can they count? Let's see.
It looks like Three-Legged Cat did indeed graduate elementary school, or whatever you guys call it there. Primary? I don't even know. And now they go and take this boss, which will finish off the last 4 shots. Oh, there's the celebratory Dragon Arrow heading on over to America. Like it's Eddie Murphy. All right, there it is.
I'm slightly disappointed at the timing of that. I wanted it to go with the shots from the boss, so you can get that the visual dynamic of the arrow coming along with. But good enough, I suppose. Good enough. Three-Legged Cat going up 2-0 in the series. Can I say they won now? Like, statistically.
I don't. Statistically, they are very likely to win. Statistically, they have not secured the victory.
And
It's
then
like
Locker here only believes in 100% and 0%.
that's as Kobe Bryant once said. Kobe Bryant was interviewed in the NBA Finals. His team was up 2-0, and a reporter asked him, "Kobe, you're not smiling. You're not happy?" And Kobe said, "What's there to be happy about? The job's not finished. All right, job ain't finished." Lots of teams thought the job was finished when they went up 2-0. The Golden State Warriors thought that they had eliminated the Cavs when they went up 3-1 in 2016. We all saw how that went out. Might have been 2015. I don't remember the exact numbers, but still. What a crazy series so far. Three-Legged Cat continuing their journey from being the 7th rated team, knocking out Inting for Ruby, and then knocking out Masters Clash Academy, and now 1 win away from taking out Granit Gaming here, from being the 7th rated team in Masters Clash. What did they do? What did they do to come back and look in such great shape here in the playoffs? As now we're going to pull out the post-game scoreboard.
This actually isn't that unusual. There are definitely some teams who don't feel like they don't perform as well in a league environment as they do in a tournament environment. If you think of the playoff bracket as a 1 weekend tournament, it's possible they took work off the last 2 weeks and have been scrimming nonstop. It's possible they reset and went and looked at their drafts and had very specific draft plans coming in for each and every single map and made detailed plans. In a league format, you need that kind of effort on a weekly basis. But if you think of it as a weekend tournament, you can spend, a month planning for just that weekend. And mentally, for some people, that is a far easier dynamic than, okay, we have to play every single week. We're playing this week too. We're playing again this week.
Map pick by Three-Legged Cat. Granite Gaming taking first pick after losing the last 2.
Okay. Wow.
Did you find that surprising, or what's going on there, Kev?
I mean, it's not too surprising. Historically, in competitive HotS, there's only been very brief windows where second pick has actually been favored. So first pick in general allows you to get more high priority heroes, because you get, let's say there's 5 high priority heroes and you don't ban any of them, right? You're pretty much guaranteed to get at least 2 of them. And if the enemy team messes up their picks or messes up their bans, you're guaranteed to get 5 of them. And then you have these OP heroes and you kind of build a comp around them. But I'm a little surprised that it's Tomb. I don't know. I don't know if Three-Legged Cat has a really good record on Tomb, if it's a comfort map for them. I would have expected them to take them to a map where Granite Gaming... How do I put this? Granite Gaming is very good at skirmishing, and I feel like Tomb of the Spider-Queen has a lot of skirmishing going on.
Okay, we'll see if it suits their specific style of play. Maybe a potential misstep from Three-Legged Cat, but so far, 3LC just looking absolutely solid throughout the gauntlet. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. Wubby going to be playing Blaze yet again for Granite Gaming. We will see Captain Rex. Lucio, very notably, by the way, Lucio not banned by Granite Gaming, so Captain Rex does have it available. Instead, Johanna Yaya eating 2 target bans with the Garrosh and Johanna, opening up the draft completely. My try, get a pick up that Urel. What do we have? I'm calling Lucio. There's going to be Lunara for Drakir right there. Never make a prediction, chat. It never goes right if you're the caster.
Yeah, that's a scouting thing, I think, to some degree. Smexy, for all his experience, doesn't play new Lucio very well because it's new Lucio. Lucio was reworked post 2018, and a lot of things about how you have to play the hero to be effective with it are very different. So you don't need to pick away the Lucio from Granite Gaming. If they get it, they're not going to perform well on it, but frequently what ends up happening is they just don't pick it. Yep.
Yeah, it feels like, in reality, it feels like Smexy kind of exclusively playing Karazim. As much as I've been watching GG in all of their MC games, it's a consistent pattern that I've noticed. And I can certainly see why. His ability to pressure, he oftentimes would go off on the map on his own, just looking for people to fight. Such a pleasure to watch. A very different playstyle from a lot of other healer players. He feels like a Muradin player trapped in a healer player's body. You know, that's how I would describe Smexy on that Karazim at times. As we now see Hammer banned away by the members of Three-Legged Cat, not wanting to let Granite Gaming have that. Let's see what Granite Gaming takes away from 3LC here.
I think that might be a response to the Chromie pickup plus the Blaze pickup. Like, there's not a lot of things they can't pick Hammer to like soft deny it into those heroes. And if they think that Hammer is pickable for Granite Gaming, they definitely need to deny it at this point. Hanzo banned out. It should be. I imagine we're going to see tank and healer here, and they're going to flex their last pick. I'm curious to see which tank Johanna I will opt for, given that pretty much everything we've seen him play has been banned.
Johanna I gonna take it to us on the Diablo. Captain Rex, despite Lucio being open, picking up the Rhaegar right here. I don't think I've seen this yet so far in the Gauntlet. Maybe a couple weeks ago for Johanna gonna be an interesting choice right here. Kev, I want to see a Tracer. I don't know if Hireth plays it, but I want to see it into those heroes.
Into the Diablo? Oh no! Okay,
no, for three-legged cat. For three-legged cat.
Yeah, Tracer into a new Barak, Chromie, Stukov, Falstad. I'm down. That's fine.
Yes.
Would you like to play the Tracer? You'd be like, hey, check in lobby chat. Hey guys, can I sub in? Just pick Tracer and I'll sub in real quick.
Yeah, Hireth, you come on, you cast, I play in the games. Let's go. I still would absolutely love. I've talked about this multiple times. When will we have side decking in our esports teams? When will you be like, haha, we play our Tracer player for this game? You know, just let it happen, cowards, post-draft. But regardless, Hireth going to pick up the Tychus here as the very final pick for the members of Three-Legged Cat. That is an interesting choice. I'll be honest, Tychus not the first hero that I would go to here. What do you think's going on here, Kev?
I mean, it must be comfort. That's the only explanation. Because you gotta pick something that doesn't die to loop. In a way, right?
Neo Steel Coding. You get it 5 levels after loop.
And we're not gonna pick Neo Steel Coding because no one actually picks the talent for some reason. But we're gonna pick it, and then theoretically we'll be fine. But in reality, we won't pick the talent. We'll die.
In reality, we'll go Q13, Q16.
But it feels like it feels honestly like they did want something relatively tanky, and something that could play a little bit around stalling, so they have the grenade for that. And then Odin will be good either offensively or defensively when you have the web weavers pushing out. I think the reason they wanted something tanky is actually primarily because of the Falstad pick, because they're thinking about those Gust plays. I just don't know if it's not better than Tracer. I guess it's not. I'm just wondering if Hireth doesn't play Tracer at this point.
I would think it is quite likely, but if I was in that game, I would be salivating, dude. My teammates used to tease me all the time when I played Heroes of the Dorm. They would be like, let me guess, Mockery, Tracer farms these kids. And I'm like, because she does farm these kids, okay?
Yeah, Tracer had like 40 favorable matchups in competitive HotS. It was pretty interesting, and then people discovered Hammer existed, and then Tracer was sad.
Yeah. Alrighty, Granite Gaming here. Gonna have Wubby on the Blaze yet again, and they are walking as tightly compacted as possible. Let's let them split up a bit. Breeze gonna be on that Anubarex, Mexi on the Stukov, Azurite playing Chromie, and Make on the Falstad.
Oh, Breeze raw E's looking for something and doesn't find it, and Diablo actually sees it, gets the wall stun. Insane that no one died there, actually. I can't believe everyone's alive. Drakir on Lunara, Johanna II on that Diablo for the first time I've seen it in a while. Captain Rex on Rhaegar, again, Hirath on that Tychus we were talking about, and my try on Yrel.
Gonna bring those talents back up here because the talent screen was rather short-lived as they got into such a quick scuffle at the very start of the game here. Breeze, Johanna trying to charge onto Breeze, but the burrow charge giving him that unstoppable means that he's not going to get hit by it. Breeze now with the Impale stalling a little bit of the rotation here. Very notably, Cav, there's actually somebody who asked about this on a rundown question for your show, or rather inside the CCL, I should say. Somebody asked about an Anubarak player going W at 1 versus a team that didn't have a lot of spell damage, and I feel like I'm seeing the same thing here with Nerubian armor being picked up by Anubarak, despite being against this damage structure. What do you make of that? Do you think it's a good choice?
I don't think it's a good choice. People underestimate how much damage comes from abilities, even from some heroes like straight auto attackers. Like an auto build Cassia will still do roughly 50% of her damage from abilities. or rather Q-build Cassidy will do like 50% of damage from abilities and 50% from autos. So it is that you can have like bursts, right? But Tychus, most of his damage is coming out of minigun, and minigun not vulnerable to armor. So is it just for lightning breath? Like, you look at this comp and you're like, are we literally taking this just so that we can stand in lightning breath and not die? And that's it. So we'll have to see later on if that's something that happens, if that's how Breeze chooses to use the ability.
We will certainly monitor that, see what kind of value he gets. Level 4 now being achieved by Three-Legged Cat here, who have yet to take their bruisers. They do have Siege Camp pushing bot side, Johanna Yaya getting the stun onto Breeze, but not able to turn it into really anything meaningful. Now Three-Legged Cat still has their bruiser camp available for the capture if they so desire, but it looks like they're still continuing to just lane it out.
Yeah, I mean, Three-Legged Cat is behind on the rotates, right? They're clearing top. Oh, the Falstad fly bottom trying to gank. My try, body blocks, very nice. Silence puddle, more stuns into the silence puddle. My try may make it out of here.
Wow.
URL is such a stupid hero.
I looked at that and I was like, when I saw the CC landing and the HP and the 4 heroes there, I was like, oh, my try's just dead. And let me just keep the camera on them. Nope. URL.
Nope. He didn't even get the single digits, 216 health. And with Dauntless up, that's more than a few autos away from actually dying, and every button had already been pushed, so...
Yeah, she's so tanky, and she can hop over walls, and she's got healing, not even just on herself either, and armor, such a strong character. Really a pleasure to watch MC, where I get to see all these good URLs, because she's very absent from North American Storm League play. Nobody can play that character. You know, like, I think about the EU spice, the EU flavor, where it really notices the differences from what I see in NA, and I think of Yrel and Kerrigan as two of the biggest examples right there. Breeze hitting the Impale over the wall onto Drakir, as we see yet another little motion from Make towards My Try, and some more of a scuffle on the top side now. Breeze getting flipped over by Johanna Yaya, able to burrow charge on out before actually falling, though.
Yeah, Breeze is definitely playing very aggressively this game, and he's been on the verge of death multiple times, but always managed to, get out so far. Dun, dun, dun. Bruiser's pushing mid for the Three-Legged Cat, and they actually dropped control of turn-ins. So they have a small experience advantage. They have mid pushed out, bottom is about even, top's getting pushed out now. So they actually didn't get too much positional advantage in exchange for giving up that turn-in. And you can see Diablo hovering, just looking to see if they'll overcommit again to that bottom lane and if he'll have to do anything to help his team. And meanwhile, because he was doing that, it looks like this is going to happen. The Webweaver spawned directly in front of the tower, but then Sukov just died. Okay.
Well, Smexy lurking armed right in front of Diablo's face. Just right in front of him, and just allowed him to self-root and flip over, as we see Hireth and Make maybe next to fall right here. My trying to finish him off, but the peel, and I just found to be one of the most puzzling things. Okay, now Tyke is going to fall here on the side of Three-Legged Cat. The Tempora Loop coming out onto Johan Ayaya. My trying to intercept the Sandblast right there, jumping in on the Chromie. Johan Ayaya, hold on a second. Breeze actually will be the one to fall, getting bit by the doggo. Captain Rex able to finish him off. Wubby dropping very, very low on the side of things. Johan Ayaya using that soul shield, but Johan Ayaya is not done yet. Charges after Wubby, but will finally take a rest and end it. He's hearthing out of the fight here, and not as bloodthirsty of a fight as I would have expected. Make making very liberal usage of the flight right here. Whenever he needs to rotate, you love to see it.
Yeah, a lot of people think Falstad's bad on Tomb because you don't get as much value out of globals, but you can actually get a lot of value out of globals by over-rotating to a lane and then flying out to make sure the soak gets caught. And as I praise Make for his smart play, he ends up dying. It's unfortunate. That's a really good first turn-in, by the way. All 3 front walls and half a fort is far above average for first turn-in on Tomb, especially an early turn-in.
Wubby just donated the siege camp over to Three-Legged Cat. Oh no! At the same time as their web weavers.
Yeah, they're 10 though. He had to do it. He had to leave. If he died and they got the camp anyway, it would have been even worse. Web Weaver's not spawning directly in front of towers. As it turns out, you can push the wave so that doesn't happen.
I know there's a certain tech related to that you like, as we see Johanna Yaya, Captain Rex cleansing way too early to negate that temporal loop. Johanna Yaya will fall. Make forced to use the gust to get Drakir off their tail. Captain Rex is next to be targeted, will get time stopped by Azerite, but it's actually Falstad going down to Drakir while they wait to get that time loop kill, or rather time trap kill, and this is very deep position by the members of Three-Legged Cat bot lane as well. Here at taking a fort shot. Now Wabi using the bunker, trying to survive the pressure here and buying time for their teammates to show up. This is indeed Odin for that push value, as we talked about in draft. Smexy now getting run down. Here's Johanna Yaya landing the shadow charge. Azerite also going to fall to the combined efforts of Mytri and Captain Rex, and Three-Legged Cat just all over the place right now. 6 kill to 2 lead. They've got the Web Weavers pushing out, able to take an entire bot fort.
Yeah, it's interesting the difference in the value there between the two turn-ins, because Three-Legged Cat was in a far better position for their turn-in in terms of having that brief Talontier advantage. And even though they got bottom fort, they only got a tower top. They didn't get anything. Well, as I say that, they're going to finish off this tower. But it's the difference in prepping the waves, right? So the Granite Gaming experience shining through there, where they prepped every lane after their turn-in to get maximum value out of the turn-in across all 3 lanes, whereas Three-Legged Cat was only able to get a substantial amount of value in 1 lane despite having a greater advantage, just because they didn't have that same kind of experience.
Overall, though, would you take GG's position in that, or?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's only because it's 6 kills to 2, right? Like, if kills were even, Granite Gaming would be in a far better position. They're playing every aspect of the map better, except for actual fights. They're just not winning. They're just not winning fights. And it's an interesting dynamic, right? Because playing the map is something that you just do once you have years of experience playing HotS. Like, there's things that are correct, and everyone knows they're correct, so you're doing them. And in a lot of ways, you don't have to talk about it, but fighting is something where you have to coordinate very strongly with what the enemy team is doing and what your team expects to have happen. And so that's the part, in a lot of ways, that requires the most practice, because it's not just, oh, this is always correct. Fights can go different ways depending on positioning in a lot of cases. Like, just, oh, I think this is the right target, but this target's out of position, so shoot on this one. No, I always want to go in this target. Like, back and forth like that. And you can see Granite Gaming is like not necessarily always on the same target or the same level of investment in getting a kill. They don't always push all their buttons. It's interesting. It's such a weird dynamic to have a solid macro team that's awful, or worse, I should say, at team fight.
Oh, Breeze now setting up the kill onto Captain Rex, which will set the tone for this fight. Now, Three-Legged Cat running away on the back foot. Odin used to deny Odin. What? Okay. Cocoon used to deny Odin. Now, Lunara Poison able to shred it out a little bit quicker right there, as that now completes the double kill for Granite Gaming. Granite Gaming immediately transitioning to the turn-in, but I must point out that their waves very far pushed back, and they do not want to complete the turn-in just quite yet. They're simply going to dump some gems in, get partial progress, and then get started with this boss. Of course, the Web Weavers only go as far up as there is an enemy minion. They stop once they see an enemy minion, so with these both waves back here in top and bottom pushed so far back, their Web Weavers are not going to spawn particularly far forward here, but that is why Make is prepping this wave. He wants to clear this out before the Web Weaver spawns, which will make such a massive difference in where it's going to be. Oh man, see, if you don't do that in Tomb, your objective is so much less effective. Look, because Web Weaver would have stopped there where that wave was, and now it's coming all the way up. Please do this in Storm League. I beg of you, prep the waves for the objectives. Every time I see someone not doing it, it makes me cry. Now, Granite Gaming pushing forward with Web Weavers and Boss.
Yeah, Azerite also doing something there. Him and Smexy cut a wave top. So while Falstad was back clearing the wave at the keep, they were clearing the wave in the middle of the lane, which is why it ended up spawning right at the tower. Mid was already pushed. Bottom is a wash. Like, it's never going to get the value it needs to get because it was just too far pushed in. You can see Wubby did go down and start pushing that out. And Wubby's not there primarily to push the Web Weaver, although he is going to end up doing that because no one's responding to him. He was primarily there to get the XP so that they can get to 16. But as soon as they hit 16 and they have that Talontier advantage, Granite Gaming is then going to look for something when they have an actual advantage.
Now, Granit Gaming continuing to pressure all 3 lanes right here, but now particularly shifting over to mid, gonna get this gate down. Granit Gaming achieving their level 16 advantage as well. And Make and Maitri getting in a little bit of a duel right there in top lane, but it's not gonna lead to anybody's death just quite yet. Large Granit Gaming wave bot lane will force a Drakir response, and neither team having enough gems for turn-in, so we're gonna see some play for these camps and just general lane control.
Yeah, Three-Legged Cat, because of those deaths earlier, actually substantially behind in the gem economy. Right, 25 to 40 something, almost 50 something now, out of Granit Gaming. Granit Gaming is going to be available. Their third turn is going to be available much sooner. Three-Legged Cat, it would actually. I don't know why they didn't do their hards, but I was going to say that they should do their hards and then potentially look for a fight in the mid lane.
And now Johanna taking big damage from the members of Granit Gaming, but that's not going to stop him from flip comboing Breeze, not into a wall, not able to get the wall bang. Breeze now getting into the bunker with a sliver of HP, trying to survive. Maitri gets gusted out, or rather the rest of the team gets gusted out. Maitri gets looped back in after the gust. Interesting little play right there to prevent any counterplay. Have you ever seen that, Kev?
This is such a stupid combo. Yes, I've seen it.
That's interesting. I don't think I've seen definitely like, oh, let's all go in on one guy and gust everybody else away, but gust their whole team and loop to keep one guy in. That's an interesting little combo right there. You think it's stupid though?
No, it's good. It's stupid in the sense that it's just ridiculous, but it does work. If you loop one person and then immediately gust everyone away, it messes with the timing. It can spread people out. It can knock you away from your cleanse. And then you're forced to come back in, and you're essentially in a 1v5. Gust has been used in combination with so many abilities to force 1v5s. It's been used with Entomb to force 1v5s. You entomb one person and then gust everyone away. It's been used with Gorge to force 1v5s. You gorge a person and then gust everyone else away and then walk. It's been used with Cocoon to force 1v5s. You cocoon someone, gust everyone away. Like, it's one of the most basic ways of using Gust across the board. You just find some way to force a 1v5 with Gust plus one other ability.
Yep. I've certainly seen it used in like all those.
The tactic is just so stupid.
Yeah. I've definitely seen it used in a lot of those other ways. There was one that I was partial to back in the day, which was Force Wall Gust as well, where that would allow you to trap one person. And then everybody else gets knocked away there, as we know.
I've done it with Hortipult.
Yeah.
You Hortipult behind someone and gust the entire team, and one person gets stuck on the terrain, and then you can wall stun them with the Q really effectively. It's just a stupid combo. Why is Gust the way it is? Ignoring the fact that Gust has an insane 20. Right, the plays that are possible with coordinated Gust play have just always been so absurd, and like Gust has yet to ever be changed based on how it's being used at competitive.
I remember Gust getting at one point buffed down to a 40-second CD, although as you mentioned last time I brought that up, it didn't have a slow, as now Johanna off of the temporal loop, taking big damage from Granit Gaming. Oh, Wabi just barely landing that jet propulsion. I thought it might have been a hair too early, but no, able to get it. And now one member of Three-Legged Cat dead because Johanna did have souls. Breeze taking a lot of damage from that Templar's Verdict, I believe. Is it? Right? Yeah, Templar's Verdict able to get that shred damage and the minus armor, setting up the kill on the Breeze, 1-for-1 between these two teams. But as the members of Three-Legged Cat go and save the top keep from dying to the wave, they will of course lose their mid keep at the same time. Giants now pushing. It looks like Giants and Catapults actually cleared out the entire bottom Webweaver for Granit Gaming and are still alive and still pushing away. Wabi's surely going to go ahead and clear these out right here, but that may open the door. A little bit of whack-a-mole showing up right here for Three-Legged Cat to take this top boss.
Is here Q16?
Oh yeah, he's Q13 and 16. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Not Neo still coding then.
Yeah. No. When the 13s got locked, I was specifically trying to hover it as we see Johanna will get dropped by GG, who off of the experience for it get level 20. Make actually picking up epic mount at level 20 for the Falstad, not the wind tunnel. Really liking those flights around the map. A triple kill for Granit Gaming here, right next to the boss pit. They're looking at potentially the chase. I honestly, is Z not up? Flight is not up.
It must not be, right? Yeah. Oh, they're gonna try to end. We go into spawn. We get Giga healthy. We have Ancestral. We don't have Odin. Catapults mid need to be addressed soon-ish. In the meantime, we just need to potentially look for kills. Bunker being forced to be used. Hopefully everyone gets in the bunker for that 50 armor. Nope. Okay. Raise, zoning, core starting to take real damage. We didn't address the catapults mid. It doesn't matter. That's game.
That is going to be game in favor of Granit Gaming right there. Granit showing signs of life right there, getting revitalized in game number 3. If they had lost this one, their season would have been over. But no, they stay alive, and now they just need to win the next 2 in a row to beat Three-Legged Cat. What's up?
They just need to reverse sweep the entire series, and
yes.
then they're fine. Okay.
Just reverse sweep, okay? Meanwhile, Three-Legged Cat needs to only win 1 game, either this next game, or if they drop this next game, the game after that, and Three-Legged Cat will advance past Granit Gaming. Some interesting choices right there, and I gotta say, Cav, why the won't people pick Neosteel coding?
I don't know. It should. So I went and looked at this in detail when Tychus was reworked. I had literally in season 1 Oxygen scrimmed over 300 games, so I had 300 games of data to pull from. And Tychus was meta, right? He was picked in a lot of those games, and then I had the public CCL games that were played, and I went and looked through all of them. There was one game where the slow from the level 13 on Tychus actually secured a kill. it was one, and it was into a team that had no mobility, right? So slows make a big difference when there's no buttons people can push to move, right? Move faster, or they don't have a dash or anything. That's when slows like this, persistent slows, are really, really, really insanely good. Neosteel coding should probably be picked in like 90% of games.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there, Cav. Did you have any of that secret spice on what might have been the map pool in 2019 HGC?
I do, actually. So we were scrims continued after BlizzCon, but before HGC actually ended up getting canceled. So we were sitting, I was sitting in scrims, and we actually scrimmed multiple maps that were not in the pool to decide, because the way the map pool for HGC was decided was players voted on it. And if you've never played a map, you gotta be like, is it in? Is it not in? So we scrimmed on Alterac, we scrimmed on Hanamura. The new version of Hanamura was out, and people were like, is this good? And honestly, people were getting kind of bored of playing the exact same maps with the exact same meta. So there was even some debate in the NA HotS community about whether or not to vote it in Blackheart's Bay. And it would have been, especially, I think Shrines is the only thing I knew for certain would have been in, because Shrines is just a very popular map. Everyone pretty much loves playing on Shrines. But everything else was pretty up in the air. It's possible that like Alterac, Hanamura, and Blackhearts, maybe all could have been in.
Hanamura, I despise with a passion. Blackhearts is interesting. It hasn't been in the ranked pool in so long that I would need to see how it actually plays to fully come out for or against it. As we see right here in this game, notice the shifting strategy of Granit Gaming. I just want to point out with the bans throughout this series, okay? Game in the first, I want to say 2 games of the series, it's Garrosh Lucio. And then game 3, it shifts to Garrosh Johanna. Full target bans on Johanna Yaya, and then I feel like once they forced Johanna Yaya off those top 2 tanks of his, I feel like the performance kind of dropped a bit, but no, they think Rehgar is the problem. Granit Gaming taking away Captain Rex's Rehgar, Captain Rex picking it even with Lucio up, and so the ban strategy just constantly shifting throughout the series here, and this is what I really want to point out to you, chat, is that this is the difference in strategy between league play, just every week playing somebody else, and specifically a series where you are repeatedly going against the same team, is that it is all about these micro adjustments as the series evolves. I am intrigued by the decision to step away from the full target banning of Johanna Ayaya's kit, but Captain Rex, like I said, is who they feel they need to target here as Granit Gaming picks up Falstad Burden.
Marlo, to answer your question, specifically in HGC, let me look at a list actually of HotS maps, because I think if I just had a list, it would be really easy for me. Old Garden of Terror was a competitive map. Alterac was not in because the HGC ended. Battlefield of Eternity has been in. Blackheart's Bay was actually a competitive map pretty much for all of 2015 and 2016, but it didn't make it into the pool for 2017 HGC, so it was never an HGC map. Braxis Holdout was in, Cursed Hollow was in an HGC, Dragonshire, Old Garden, not New Garden, was in an HGC. Neither Old nor New Hanamura Temple were in. There was debate about getting Old Hanamura in before they broke it by removing the sapper minions that did core shots if they got to the line. My fault. Sorry. Shrines was in, Sky Temple's been in, Tomb has been in, Towers has been in, Volskaya has been in. This version of Volskaya, however, the objective sucked, but then they overbuffed the objective, arguably, and so that was a very different meta for it. Warhead has been in, but it was old Warhead. So most maps at one point or another have been in the competitive map pool, and specifically in HGC, there's only a handful of maps that never got played.
And I mean, there were certainly popularity preferences as well. Braxis, it felt like you couldn't pay some of these teams to pick Braxis, and that's also kind of the thing here, as it is in the hero pools, or the map pools for MC, but nobody plays it.
Yeah. Oh, and Haunted Mines. The original Haunted Mines was in the competitive map pool for 2015 and 2016, but it was not in HGC, and the new version has never been played competitively except for in custom games, mostly hosted by me. But yeah, well, and here's the thing about Braxis is as a draft map, had the single largest discrepancy between first and second pick win rates, and that's an interesting problem for people who want to pick the map, right? Because if first pick always wins, you would never pick the map unless you had some sort of cheese. And as it turns out, Braxis has a really deep, interesting, complex draft meta that, at least at the time, heavily favored first pick if you understood the map. So generally, people would either ban Braxis. Koreans didn't practice Braxis at all, by the way. So if you took Koreans to Braxis, you could beat them pretty easily as long as you just didn't Fiesta and get outplayed. You could win the draft at least very, very easily.
So we've been talking about all these other concepts, and I love going over this stuff, but I also just gotta talk about this draft in front of us right here. I'm looking at Azerite playing Sergeant Hammer, and I see against him on Three-Legged Cat we have Blaze Hogger Tyrael. Triple frontline going up against a Sergeant Hammer here. Realistically, I don't see the way that the draft of Three-Legged Cat will be able to close the gap and make it to the Sergeant Hammer and consistently take her out. What do you think, Kev?
I mean, you throw nanomachine coding under the Hammer, that means Hammer's doing half damage, essentially, since so much of her damage comes from just auto attacks, including even her talents, like increase her damage, generally increase it via her autos in some way. They have Hortipult, they have Zim Zoom, they have two Zim Zooms actually. They have Tyrael Zim Zoom and they have Lucio Zim Zoom. They can all in, right? Like if Tyrael's Q's onto the Hammer, Sylvanas can literally E into that sanctification that's inevitably going to come out seconds or parts of a second later. And you can see they're actually looking for the backdoor cheese. The Lucio, they're like, where are you guys? Where are you guys? But it turns out that they were, in fact, bottom. Falstad going to be mid, Uriel top, and there's going to be a 3-man bottom. So this is 113 coming out of Granit Gaming, really supporting the Hammer. And Three-Legged Cat is responding with 3-1-1. I don't know about that. Okay.
How do you die in the 3-on-1? Okay.
Wubby is a god.
As much of a god as you might be at your given character, I feel that dying at 3-1-1, at least to some extent, has to come down to trolling.
It's really easy to int on Hogger, to be fair. Although
I know.
He didn't even spin in, right? He just stood there and died.
And now Azerite pushing in bottom in here alongside the other members of Granit Gaming. The entire bot wall has been dropped by GG, And as they push now directly onto the fort, let's take a look at the progress of Three-Legged Cat here. Still just working on the second tower, only getting it down to about half here. Losing that Hogger certainly really delaying what they want to do. And what I gotta notice is GG, not a care in the world about going for this null camp so far. It might as well not exist, as they just say, hey, if we can just push down forts, who needs a null camp right here? As Sylvanas goes down, and 2 deaths already on the side of Three-Legged Cat to start this game out.
Yeah, Hogger is pushing mid here, though, and Hogger is going to get just simply an enormous amount of damage done, despite that death. It obviously would be better if Sylvanas was alive. Make actually is easily going to die here to the rundown. Yeah, Lucio plus Tyrael. You cannot get away from that. They are mosquitoes who will follow you forever. Fort dead. And the interesting dynamic here is that even though Three-Legged Cat is down on structures, one can argue that specifically into Hammer, the more open the map is, the worse Hammer gets, because the more angles of approach you have. Even in some cases, if it's your forts down, because now they can never push that lane again. And if they ever try to push that lane, you have the Zim Zoom. You're going to be able to get that rundown.
Yep, opening up the map certainly always a threat, especially in the late game when those maps are down, like you said, or rather when the map is bust open, like you said. It just means that Lucio is able to chase you down and run you down such great distances whenever any kind of push ends, whether it be on the offense, the defense, whatever. Now Granit Gaming taking their first sapper camp of the game, or rather null camp, and just immediately transitioning over to the mid push right here. Mid, notably, you can get flanked from 2 different directions right here, so maybe a little bit less safe for Azerite, who just sieges up and gets ready to push this out. Notably, regenerative biosteel for the Sergeant Hammer, not looking for the siege mechanics right here, instead looking for that trading power.
Ooh. Okay, we're almost at the power spike, right? We're almost at Three-Legged Cat getting level 7. Blaze will be able to do a lot more into the Hammer at that point of the game. Oh god, it's this Tyrael one again. Why? Why is this Tyrael level 1?
Cav is a particular hater of Salvation Tyrael. He thinks that if you pick this talent, you are trolling. As we now see both teams.
It's just worse than the other options. It's like strictly, oh my god, they keep dying.
I just don't expect them to end.
I feel like Blaze was in a respectable 1v1 and then Brightwing came in.
And ruined the sanctity.
And here's what I'm going to say, Chad, is 1v1s are wrong. It's a MOBA. It's a team-based game. 1v1s should not happen. People should cheat, and there should be tourism. My team tried to make me fight a 1v1 the other night in NGS, and I'm like, no, or Nexomania rather, and I'm like, no, I don't. 1v1, they're not a thing. Come help me.
Yeah, he was screaming for help, and we're like, no, 1v1 him, Cap 1v1. Now Drakir gonna get hammered by Wubby, and Granit Gaming starting this game off at turbo speed here, picking up 4 kills in the first 4.5 minutes, and already taking out a fort. And now Azerite utilizing this hover siege, and it just looks like Three-Legged Cat just is absolutely stymied by this Hammer. They don't know what to do so far.
I mean, I think they really need ults to fight it, is the thing. Like, the 7's going to help, but I think they need Hortipult, they need Sanctification. I'm actually hoping we see W7, which is sort of a ranged poke ability. Generally, when you see Hortipult, you do see it with Garbage Fire. I think maybe you could get W7. I'm really hoping we don't see Shockwave. Because if we see Shockwave, Hogger will never have the ability, except for spinning in aggressively, to get on this Hammer, and I think that's a problem.
That may indeed be a problem if the enemy Hammer can just continue to do whatever she wants. Now Hogger just spinning right through. That's some high-tier gameplay for you folks. Really takes a lot of skill, of course. Captain Rex interfering with the rotation by Breeze. Now Drakir, though, hold on. I don't know how Drakir got so deep, but they're taking a lot of damage. Certainly not going to be able to make it out of this one. Will fall, making it 5 kills in 5.5 minutes now for Granit Gaming. The Wubby just going to smack Johanna Ya. And Granit Gaming looks like they took a little bit to hit their stride, but they look like a whole different team as now Breeze lands the Haymaker onto Captain Rex. Oh, Captain Rex trying to push off and get on out of there, dropping very, very low. Wubby! Wait, what?
What?
Okay, Johanna able to finish off Falstead, but will die themselves, making that a 1-for-1 in mid lane. And Captain Rex kind of just walked into their death right there. Hireth is on Azerite. Wow, actually gets booped out with just a tiny little chunk of health right there. Napalm Strike trying to catch Hireth lacking in that bush. Not able to get anything just quite yet. Then Azerite, just as soon as they were 5 HP a moment ago, now all of a sudden, with the regenerative biosteel and the Brightwing phase shift, just a full HP siege tank like nothing ever happened, and the push pressure continues in this top lane. Now already, before first objective has even been captured, three-legged cat down 2 fourths.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I believe that is going to be Shockwave, by the way, coming out, so I'm a little sad. Wailing Arrow misses. Wubby is going to be fine. Yep. I'm surprised they didn't continue to try to run that down. They have the Lucio boop. If Lucio boops Urel mid-air, it does cancel the E, and he could have gotten in front of him, like with good Accelerando usage. But it looks like they are going to prioritize the objective instead, getting this channel going on. They have to watch for the backdoor here, because if Granite Gaming gets a backdoor cap, the 10 seconds they have left was obviously finish channeling before Three-Legged Cat's 20 seconds left.
Oh!
They're gonna get the camp.
Captain Rex actually with the high five, denying Breeze's attempted haymaker, which would have pushed Drakir over the wall into mid-fort by my calculations. Now Make in the middle of the danger, able to barrel roll right on out of there. That's going to be a judgment onto Breeze. Breeze receiving the phase shift, but it only brings Smexy to his doom, who will also fall, giving the double kill now over to Three-Legged Cat. As soon as they cap this objective, what perfect timing to double their kills with the double kill. Now Johan Aya stepping forward onto Azerite will just simply pop over to his sword and get right out of there as they wait for the Far Striders.
I'm really surprised that this is Judgment and not Sanct. I felt like they have a massive dive comp. I guess they're just thinking about how to get a CC chain going. And obviously Judgment is really good at that because you just dive in. It also, knocking everyone away from the kill target makes it a little bit easier for point and clicks to happen and to work correctly. So there's something to consider there. Oh, and everyone's out. Okay. Are they gonna get mid fort? Are they okay? They're not gonna get mid fort just yet. Are they gonna get any forts out of this? Are they gonna be able to equalize the map at all, or is this just a stabilization essentially of the experience gap that has existed for quite a little bit of time now?
Johanna able to hop over the wall and right back thanks to Sword of Justice, or as Cav, as you like to call it,
Sword Hole. It's
Sword Hole.
I literally read the patch notes, and I'm like, so it's just Wormhole for Tyrael, and I called it Sword Hole, and that is its name forevermore. I will never call it anything else. In fact, I think Blizzard should rename it officially to Sword Hole, because Justice is committed, and Sword Hole is the talent where you go in and out, and it's not the same thing. So Sword of Justice doesn't even make sense thematically if you think.
Yeah, I mean, like it's always a Sword of Justice if you ask me. That's kind of Tyrael's whole jam. As now Wubby leashing this boss a bit. Boss is just healing off all the damage that Azerite is doing to it. Meanwhile, Breeze attempting to zone off on the side. The members of Three-Legged Cat must surely be aware as the boss resetting its HP yet again. Azerite still just chipping away at it. Must really enjoy just watching all his damage get immediately cleaned off right there. Granite Gaming thought about taking this boss for a while, but it's actually the top boss, by the way. This whole time that this is going on, top boss is being taken by Make and Smexy. I think this is just a 5-head distraction play by Granite, who have now secured top boss. Falstad and Brightwing gonna look to utilize those globals to join the rest of the team, probably here soon. Wubby now here, hold on a second. Three-Legged Cat diving toward the members of Granite Gaming, utilizing the black arrows from Sylvanas. They would love to take their first fort of the game as Falstad clears out mid. Johanna again judgmenting Breeze, and they know Breeze doesn't have Avatar. With no Avatar, his HP is relatively low for a tank, and he's certainly a kill target. Make with the Fly Gust, gonna set up the kill onto Captain Rex's Lucio, however. Drakir able to Haunting Wave right on out of their Shadow Wave, Haunting Wave, either way, it doesn't matter because it doesn't save them. A 2-for-1 in favor of Granite Gaming.
Yeah, it was just insanely good global play coming out of Granite Gaming. Insanely good global play coming out of Granite Gaming with the distraction, the bait. They will now also get bottom boss while top boss is being cleared out by that Hogger. Camp coming up soon-ish, should be in like 20 seconds or so. He'll be able to do the camp right after that. Looks like the Granite Gaming's camp died mid to the wave imbalance. as well. Oh, a lot of damage coming on the Whoopi here, but he will be able to have that Brightwing Z. He should be fine. He doesn't even need to pop his R, which is good because that is a 2-minute cooldown that would be essentially wasted and not available for the fight. And then there's the camp up. I wish Hogger had actually checked that timer and just stood on that camp and did it right as it came up rather than pushing out the top wave. They were going to get 16 no matter what. Wubby still has his R. Is that a mana, though? Wubby's in an awkward position here where if he doesn't have tap, he's going to have to go all the way back.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
If a pirate were to play Yrel, which ult would they choose?
Ardent Defender.
Yeah, I love that you caught that alley-oop right there as we now see the Gust play, isolating the members. Hold on, there's the Shockwave immediately following up onto Johan Ayaya's Judgment, able to find Make on that Falstad. Azerite tried to get out, but no, they're playing a little bit of Poppy playtime right there. Gets walled off as they try to run away, not able to escape. Wubby now jumping over the wall directly into this mid-fort, but able to utilize it as an escape route, maybe? He is getting run down by Lucio. He doesn't have a fort to run to, but he's going to be home free and going to escape. Double kill for Three-Legged Cat.
Such a stupid hero.
Indeed.
A good Yrel player can literally exist on the enemy team side of the map and still never die. It's actually so stupid. You can just straight up live in a 5v1 scenario pretty regularly. It's not like an exceptional event. Wubby did not make an insane escape there. He made a really standard Yrel escape. It's just so stupid.
Turns out being incredibly tanky and giving yourself armor and healing and jumping over walls makes you kind of hard to kill. Now Wubby stepping forward
instantly mounting. Like, it's just so stupid.
Now, hold on a second. We actually see a fight breaking out in bot side here. Hira taking a lot of damage from the members of Granit Gaming here. Hold on, wait. Haunting way forward by Drakir, able to finish off Wubby. We were just talking about how hard you are to kill, but maybe not when you're that far up. Oh no, GG now losing a member. Three-Legged Cat, we'll see what kind of pressure they can apply with this temporary 5-on-4 that they have on their hands. Ooh,
Hira did a mini spin there just for clear. I don't know if that's a good idea to spin like that into people's faces. Captain Rex is this is by the way, one of the primary reasons we're probably seeing this Haymaker is a point and click stun is really good into things like Lucio. Even though it does cut the survivability of Muradin quite a bit to not have Avatar, having point and click abilities really is insanely good into the multi-cleanse of Lucio that has, it has a little travel time. It can never be quite instant. Captain Rex has to be relatively close to cleanse anyone else, and if he's relatively close and he gets Haymaker, he's in trouble.
Granit Gaming now moving forward here with their siege camp. Level 20, though, very close to being achieved by the members of Three-Legged Cat. Oh, we see Make and Johan Ayaya trading some hits top lane, but Make is going to be perfectly fine. Level 20 soon, very, very close. There it is right there, it is picked up. That's gonna be the no control by Hogger. Very mixed results in competitive play, kind of matching Storm League experience as well. From what I've seen, sometimes no control absolutely slaughters, and sometimes you're just kind of flailing about. Meanwhile, Smexy and Wubby gonna get the pressure on the bot side while they are sure aware that Three-Legged Cat is taking this top boss.
Yeah, if you're no controlling purely for damage, a good no control will do about 5,000 damage. I think my personal record is like 25,000 damage from a single no control. The average case is like something like 8k, and that's pretty good if you're using it for damage. If you're using it for chase, you have no mobility tools left and you just pop it to continue to run someone down. That's a little bit different. Oh. Nice combo, so many stuns, but Breeze is eventually gonna die. Yeah, the no control used here is a chase, essentially denying the gust, and you can't quite turn it into anything else as a follow-up. They do get those 2 kills, and this is huge. They have a boss pushing with 2 dead. They should be able to get the objective and maybe even top keep at the same time.
This is always kind of an interesting point about Brightwing, is it feels like there's this crucial tipping point where either your heal save is just so insane that it prevents people from dying, or you're joining them and you're gonna die too. And if the enemy team is able to get over that threshold of damage, as we've seen Three-Legged Cat do multiple times with their wombo combo of Judgment Shockwave, it has simply just meant that Smexy joins their teammate in death. Now this boss pressuring up onto top keep. Note, meanwhile, that we see Tyrael holding back on the map right there to secure this objective. Johan Ayaya getting a lot of capture time on this objective right here, as the members of Granite Gaming now starting to respawn, and they start their null camp as well. We'll see. It doesn't look like an attempted null camp start from the members of Three-Legged Cat. Instead, you're simply finishing off their objective. Drakir maybe thinking about it. Oh, we saw the pings. They wanted it, but just a little bit too late. Not gonna have the mid nulls.
So what they needed to do to actually make that happen was, as soon as the 4-man and Three-Legged Cat started rotating to the objective, they could have taken it over, and Tyrael could have head towards the camp and get the tag. And then once it's tagged, Hogger could start heading over, knowing that they're going to get the objective. That required, like, optimal tagging there actually required a lot of multi-person coordination between who's tagging the camp versus who's doing the camp versus who's staying at the objective. But they are going to get the instant clear on the null camps taken by Granite Gaming mid, and they're going to shove. Wubby's going to do a little bit of work bottom. Oh, no, he's just looking for the flank.
Wubby looking for the flank at the bottom of your screen right there. Hits the Templar's verdict onto multiple members of Three-Legged Cat, but it instantly thinks better of the attempted flank. You're going to go ahead and back off right here. Granite Gaming defending the base. Now Make forced to clear out that top lane. Don't want too much pressure onto your core. And meanwhile, with a Farstrider bot lane, Three-Legged Cat simply converting over here, just going to try out and push down bot. But the Farstrider losing HP rather quickly. Their objective not going to last super long, and it's looking like this will only be a one keep advantage, of which the globals of Granite Gaming will certainly do a lot to help neutralize throughout this game. I don't think Three-Legged Cat is honestly mega far ahead. They're certainly slightly ahead, but this is still anybody's game.
This is an interesting dynamic. Three-Legged Cat is posturing for the middle keep, hoping they can get a pick on someone pushing out that lane. But Granite Gaming was actually just rushing at bottom boss, assuming that was going to be the next thing that was sort of worth fighting over. And they could be right. Like, bosses at this point in the game can enable quite a lot, especially with top keep already down. If a boss pushed bottom and got that keep, Three-Legged Cat would have actually some potential to core. And no one's splitting, despite the globals. No one's splitting. Everyone wants to be here for this fight, and if there is a fight that breaks out, like, this could be the game one way or the other.
And now big damage coming out onto Hireth, but the judgment lands onto Make. Not gonna have any shockwave follow-up. Hireth completely missing. Meanwhile, oh, the criterize onto Johan Ayaya, who was in the backline, taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Johan Ayaya trying to run out of there. There's one of the European pronunciation just for you folks. Wubby also gonna get, oh, there's the gust from Make, seemingly only landing onto Maitri, who does get into the bunker despite being polymorphed. And now this is a post-20 bunker. Teammates actually throwing out the oils. You never see that. Alrighty, there we go. Three-Legged Cat, their teammates actually using the level 20 bunker. You love to see it. Granite Gaming continuing the push, however, in the meantime. They are getting some passive push pressure onto their lanes inside the base. They're not too worried about it at the moment. They do have a fairly healthy boss with those two keeps. It is pretty hard for passive pressure to take out the core, but this fight isn't even over yet.
Now, Breeze haymakering away for the pull. Hireth trying to get the pummel spin in as an engage. Doesn't quite get it, is forced to cancel. Objective is capped by Granite Gaming, and Three-Legged Cat has to fight into this. And they're down some really important cooldowns. Judgment's going to be back up in 1 second, Shockwave in 2. Hopefully we get to see that combo. Hireth extremely low on Rage, and there's nothing he can wall stun to, like, bounce his Rage up super high. Does, okay, now he has Rage. Now they can go. Now they're going to realistically do the damage.
Oh, and Hireth not able to land the shockwave off of the judgment yet again. And as well, Maitri also attempted a simultaneous flank, but actually got denied by the hammer shock. But it doesn't even matter, as they simply just re-engage without ults and are able to pick up Azerite at the very start of the fight. Drakir now trying to finish off Breeze, bolts towards him for the chase. Oh, but Smexy able to finish the phase shift off, as the last auto attack that I believe would have finished off Muradin was flying towards him. It's still a 1-for-1 between these two teams now. now. My try, Seraphim actually denying the stun from Jet Propulsion, but still able to get the damage. Wubby gonna take a bit from these towers over here, actually healing off of them in mid-side, using Ardent Defender before rejoining the fight and jumping on Sylvanas. What a play by Wubby. Oh my goodness. Now, Make jumping away. Wubby finishing off another hero, finishing off Blaze as well. Hogger just trying to spin through everything. Will run away from the members of Granite Gaming. Oh, Hireth a little bit of stuttering right there, still trying to get out, but at this point Granite Gaming gives up on the kill, and they're just starting to push bottom.
If they could have gotten the Hogger kill, that would have been pretty massive, because Hogger is actually one of the better heroes at defending against pushes in these tight corridors around Alterac. If you end up accidentally clumping and you get pummeled, it significantly cuts your core DPS for brief windows, and if he is high rage and does get an insane no control, you will end up dying. Tyrael goes down instantly before he can even hit his buttons. That's the problem. Pretty much no way to hold this. Even an insane Hogger player, I don't think, could hold this at this point of the game. Lucio will be up in 3 seconds, Sylvanas in 8. But hopefully we won't see a repeat of Granit's 267 core against Julian.
No, this is looking like Granite Gaming will be able to finish this off. Wind Tunnel actually stopping Drakir, as well as Haymaker. Both Wind Tunnel and Haymaker actually stunning Drakir out of being able to play any defense right there. I'm not sure if he would have been able to stop it regardless, but GG to GG as they now pick up their second victory of the series. They dropped the first 2 games. They won the next 2. Off of that right there, I gotta say, just this is crazy. And in that game, Three-Legged Cat, they hit their wombos early game, okay? In the mid game, rather, when they get their 10s, because you spoke about it, they needed 10s, so that was a game changer, although they may not have gone the exact direction you may have been expecting. But once they got those wombos and were able to set up kills with the Judgment Shockwave combo, Three-Legged Cat was doing work. But then in their last few fights, when they attempt to put it together, I don't know if it's the Hogger positioning, I don't know if it's the comms, but there's just no Shockwave follow-up for these Judgments. They're not able to replicate that same success they had in the mid-game, and Granite Gaming takes game 4, pushing this to our final game. This is a best of 5, so no matter what, the team that wins this next game right here will knock their opponent out of Masters Clash for 2022 and advance to fight against Rage Quit Gaming to see who can go to the LAN.
I want to bring up something that I think is really interesting about the fact that Three-Legged Cat has looked like they're dropping off in performance, and Granite Gaming's looked like they're getting better performance throughout this series. Part of that is always going to be the mental game. Teams with a lot of experience will adjust to what's going on and improve as the series goes on, and people with relatively weak mental, or weaker mental, I should say, might start to drop off. But also, there's just the dynamic of playing a best of 5 versus playing a best of 3. Most scrim blocks today are 2 hours, which means you play 4 games in a row. So at most, you have conditioned yourself to play 4 straight games of HotS at maximum focus. During HUC, scrim blocks were 3 or 4 hours, depending on your region, and you had 2 or 3 of them per day. Season 1 of Oxygen, we actually ended up having a 6-hour scrim block, just to sort of get people in the mindset of, if we have stepladder playoffs and we're forced to play 2 best of 5s in a single day, this is how many games we're going to be playing. This is how long you have to be able to focus for in the worst case scenario. And everyone was exhausted at the end of that 6-hour block. So, like, has Three-Legged Cat had to play the 5th game of a best of 5 before? Has it happened to them more than once? Because I guarantee you, every single person on Granite Gaming has had to play the final game of a best of 7 multiple times in their careers as HotS players. So fatigue, literally just mental fatigue, may start to be a factor here for Three-Legged Cat.
But both teams are ready here, so it looks like draft is going to get kicking in just a second.
Do drafts kick?
Anything can get kicking. I don't know.
I feel like drafts blow more than anything. The joke that works on multiple levels, depending on how you feel about people's drafting and HotS.
Oh yeah, and then already now both teams are ready, and this draft's gonna get blowing. Let's get into it. Moving forward here into game 5, Granite Gaming versus Three-Legged Cat. Granite Gaming with a bit of a amorphous, shifting ban strategy here. The Garrosh ban with their first ban has been a constant throughout this series. I highly doubt they'll step away from it now after having won their last two, and of course they have to smite me. There's the Johanna ban right there, shifting it up for the first time in this 5-game series, and Captain Rex banning out Hirat Sagar. Gonna take that away, obviously, trying to take it away from GG. And now, this is an interesting shift in the strategy. Again, GG showing us something different game after game. Rehgar gonna be banned out. Looking at Johan Ayaya's Johanna and Captain Rex's Rehgar, but Johan Ayaya's Garrosh, which was smurfing the other series, is going to be left available. Smexy with the first pick, Brightwing.
But can you 1-2 a Garrosh? I don't know if you can 1-2 a Garrosh. They could still have the option of third banning it, right, from this position if they're actually afraid of it. Okay, yeah, you can't 1-2 a Garrosh. They agree. Three-legged cat agrees with me. It's not safe.
Well, one thing that I also had to point out, Cav, is that in particular, I think about the Brightwing versus Garrosh matchup and Critterize. In my experience, just something I've seen over and over again, Critterize, the level 16 Brightwing armor reduction on Polymorph, okay? Able to just take out 25 armor off of Garrosh, which with the way armor calculation works in HotS, is a massive chunk of his EHP, just getting deleted. I think that Brightwing effectively serves as a bit of a Garrosh ban. And so GG has found a way to effectively squeeze 3 bans out of their intro, and now Make picking up the Tychus Wubby on the Dahaka.
I mean, is Garrosh pickable? Yeah. So high health tanks are not really what they want to go for into that. So they ban the Diablo because they can't just take it away. And I don't think that they can Garrosh for pretty much the same reason. However, Granite Gaming can easily Garrosh here. Throwing someone into Tychus's range and then having Tychus minigun them down is a tried and true tradition of competitive HotS. I'm curious to see what ban's going to come out here for Granite Gaming. They're really thinking about it. 0 seconds, that is going to be the Lucio. It had to be a support, a tank, or a flex based on the draft so far, and obviously flex can be anything, so that's really hard to ban out. Is there a specific range here you're worried about? But they opted to get rid of the Lucio, despite the fact that they played pretty well against it with the Polymorph in the last game.
Would be interesting to see what they go for right here, especially after having seen so much of the pivotal Brightwing play. And there is indeed the Garrosh still going to be picked up by Johan Ayaya in this 3-4 pick phase, followed up by Anduin from Captain Rex right here. His first, I want to say, non-regular Lucio pick of the day. Interesting choices coming out. And just as I said before, with Brightwing post-16, Garrosh just has to worry about getting melted. His armor feels like it's almost going to be irrelevant with the armor reduction, with the percentage damage available for GG. Stitches Orphea! We're getting a little bit spicy to end up this series right here. Stitches Orphea gonna be the last 2 picks. What's going on?
I mean, Breeze is a pretty good Stitches player. This is a map where it's relatively difficult to play Stitches. You really have to play around the objective and look for the picks. Orphea, an insane burst hero. Azerite, actually really well known. I think he one-tricked Orphea all the way to gym number 1 at one point. But his success in competitive on Orphea has been very mixed. He played it, I think, 4 or 5 times in Season 1 of CCL when he was on a team, and he actually won 0 games, which is pretty. It's pretty. I think the way Orphea must be played in competitive around people who are very cognizant of the fact that all of her things have cast times and are trying to interrupt them on purpose is a very different scenario than playing Orphea on ladder, where you can surprise people with the amount of bursts you have. However, Orphea relatively mobile as long as she hits her Qs into Garrosh, who is relatively immobile. That can be a problem. Or if you're really good on Shrine, Orphea potentially has really good follow-up to Stitches Hooks, which is something you need. You need burst follow-up to Stitches Hooks and to Gorge to make sure that if you hit a hook, there's an instant one-shot potential. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be curious to see if Azerite has improved his Orphea to the point where it is more pickable and competitive than the last time I saw him play it.
We'll certainly see how it shakes out right here. I am intrigued, because I thought that I would see 0 Orphea games this entire time. It wasn't even... She might as well not have been in the pickable list, honestly, with how I was thinking about this. But no, Azurite wanting to show us some of that special secret sauce right here. And I'll take a look over here. I'll let Cav get the Granite Gaming, guys. As I introduce you, three-legged cat here. Captain Rex gonna be on Anduin. Johan Ayaya on the Garrosh for the first time since the series versus inting for Ruby. It's been chain banned ever since then. Maitri on Blaze. Hireth gonna be playing Hanzo. And Drakir on Sylvanas. Cav, in what might be Granite Gaming's last game of Masters Clash 2022, what do we got?
Breeze on Stitches, Make on Tychus, Wubby on the Haka, Smexy on Brightwing, and Azurite on Orphea. And we are going to see, we're going to see a cheeky little two-man top thing. This is something you do, when you're worried about getting cheesed by a Sylvanas with this rotation. So they had one person positioned between mid and bot, two people mid, two people top, because top was the most likely lane. So you bias yourself towards the lane. Ooh, Breeze gets thrown. That's unfortunate. That's the danger of playing Stitches, by the way, in a Garrosh, as you're relatively immobile. So you have to play relatively far back. Normally, we have a vision tool drafted with Stitches Calm. So you have something like a Tyrande Owl or a Lunara Wisp, so that you can get vision of the enemy team, and Stitches can hook from out of vision. Even in the early game, they don't have that option. So they're very much playing purely for like the 10-13 hook spike, not for the early game picks off of the hook. They don't have the tools available to do that. Maybe they can get some advantage fights and just abuse Stitch's chunky health pool with the global from Nahaka early on. Maki going to be okay. Gets Brightwing Z. Forcing out Brightwing Z pretty much on cooldown here is actually pretty important, because if you ever find an opportunity, if you find two opportunities in a row like that for the throw, Brightwing Z will not be available. So you have to keep forcing it even though you're not getting the kill. It's sort of a weird dynamic.
Breeze,
and this is
mega isolated by Johan Ayaya, but not able to finish him off right there. Now going to toss Captain Rex out of the action as well. And with the appearance of Wubby, thanks to that Brush Stalker on that Dahaka, the members of Granite Gaming are going to secure that bottom siege camp right there. Still one siege camp taken by each team, but GG still has an extra one. Johan Ayaya not able to find the throw onto any of the backliners of Granite Gaming right there.
That's something, that whole interaction is something that Three-Legged Cat would have been definitively ahead despite no kills happening if Maitri had simply never come. You don't try to match the global, because you physically can't. It's not possible. What you try to do in that situation is you continue to double soak, knowing that as a result of the burrow, there's going to be some soak missed. But as you can see, despite, again, no kills, Maitri coming resulted in a temporary experience disadvantage for Three-Legged Cat. That's what you should try to do when you force the global and then immediately back off while your offlaner continues to do what they should be doing, double soaking, and you'll actually end up ahead. Instead, they ended up behind. That is a subtle aspect of playing against globals.
You know, one thing also that I have noticed is I feel like this might change a bit, exactly what you're talking about, Cav. Just trying to match a global offlaner as a non-global offlaner is, it seems a bit different on Towers of Doom, where it is super, in my experience, super consistent that the non-global offlaner tries to rotate down to match the Dahaka to prevent the invade on sappers, because the camp is just so much higher priority, right? Like, it makes a much bigger swing in the lane than what you might get from that neutral siege camp here, right?
That is true. And sappers are tucked away in a corner. And it's an advantage fight positionally, because there's more places for your team to stand defensively, which means they can usually hold and buy time. But this is a neutral camp, right? This is in the middle of the map. Both teams have sort of equal approaches and equal access, which means that contesting it is more dangerous and the camp is less valuable. So there's a lot of dynamics that go into when you make these decisions, and Blaze is dead, but Punisher going over. Sylvanas should have trait for this push, so they should be able to get, if they do this correctly, I think they will actually get the entire fort and end up being really advantaged. The camp did a ton there, by the way. No one, or I wouldn't say no one, because Blaze was there, but you actually need a range to defend against pushes like that. Offlaners can soak waves, but defending pushes is something offlaners, by and large, are not actually very good at.
Yep, ranged wave clear always going to be a big part of defending against pushes, and my try in the middle of things. Now the phase shift, though, quickly turning this fight around away from his advantage. Johan Ayaya trying to hearth, but Wubby not going to let it happen. Hold on a second. Maybe Wubby actually got baited by this, though, as both of the frontliners now here with them. Oh, it was masterfully executed bait right here, but we've got 4 members here of Three-Legged Cat up on the rotation. And what might be a bit of an over-rotation, if you ask me, opens the door for Granit Gaming to invade this siege camp here. Large macro advantage in the early game, sizable already, taking out the top fort as well as a large lead in mercenary camps captured so far. GG now looking to take this bottom neutral camp as well. Oh, Johanna Yaya, just a second of hesitation, not able to step onto the point, forced to get yanked out by Captain Rex, the Indomitable, going to prevent the hook from yanking him back into the action. And my try is on the scene. This is a full 5-on-5.
I don't know why my try is here. They're down on experience. Like, seriously, please stop. That bull was insane. And he did hesitate. Like, Jana very much did hesitate, but he hesitated purely because his DPS wasn't in range yet, and he wanted to throw to actually get the kill as opposed to playing for the point. So generally teams have a decision they've made at some point where they decide if they're going to play for points in a given map or in a given draft, or play for kills, and it is going to be, in this case, they were playing for the kill, not the point. Gets dragged out of there. He is dead, unfortunately, in the mid lane, and with the 10 advantage, mid fort is going to get sieged down by this Odin and the camp.
With heroic talents, this is certainly not that difficult for Granit Gaming to finish off right here. Looking to get it. My try getting the jet propulsion, but still no 10s. There it is for Three-Legged Cat. Oh, Dragon Arrow just a hair too high from here. Gonna miss. Would have been big, but no.
It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been.
You think so? I guess it would have been 4v5.
No, not even. Smexy pre-cleansed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Smexy, it was subtle there, but if you go back and watch, Smexy cleansed as the arrow was coming out, and because it has a travel time, it would have cleansed everyone, even if the arrow hit it.
And it would have just healed it all off, too, immediately. Especially because you've got... Oh, no Soothing Mist here. This is actually Peekaboo at 7. Wait, Breeze just walking right up and eating Sylv. Gonna bring Drakir in. Drakir not able to Haunting Wave out just quite yet, but there's no damage follow-up here for Breeze to use to help kill off of the Gorge. Now the fight still breaking out. This is another 5-on-5. Johan Ayaya just really struggling, it seems, into this damage structure. The Orphea able to consistently stay away. Wubby also running away now, able to evade the members of Three-Legged Cat here. Next objective is getting started. Equal talent tiers. Oh, and there's a hook over the wall onto My Try from Breeze. Oh, My Try barely gets into the bunker, but he's still very low HP when he gets out. Tries to jet propulsion away and will fall.
Well, they have to give up the shrine now, and Midfort's already dead, so it's going to get, at a minimum, the keep wall plus some damage onto the keep. If they get a single pick during the push, it will also get the entire keep. Granite Gaming absolutely snowballing this game. And honestly, like, Granite has played extremely well. They've punished every mistake in rotations that Three-Legged Cat has made. But Three-Legged Cat has made a lot of rotational mistakes this game, and it's what's ending up costing them so much in this scenario.
Ooh, Johan Ayaya, the Warlord's challenge not going to land, but Hiret's Dragon Arrow will. Setting up the damage pressure onto Wubby. He will be first to fall. Light Bomb getting a stun now onto Breeze, and the Groundbreaker going to knock him up right there. 39 out of 40 on this objective for Granite Gaming. Make very quickly going to finish it off rather than let the members of Three-Legged Cat finish that off instead. And wow, what a terrible time to drop those 2 kills for Granite. Hireth going to take some damage here from the Punisher. 13 advantage currently by Granite Gaming. And what is this? Under pressure? Gav, I kind of think this talent is hot garbage. I just think the numbers aren't enough. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
It's the single best talent for wave clear and for bursting someone off of hooks at 13.
It does so little.
It sucks. It sucks. It actually does change wave clear breakpoints. It changes the amount. I think it actually gets to a point where you no longer need to auto the wave at all. You can just W it with the intersection and then leave, because it increases slams damage by 25, and then it has a sacking quest. But that damage is modified by the inner area. of Slam doing extra damage. And the thing it's competing against is Meat Hook, which only helps you for self-healing, right? So if you're playing purely for picks, Under Pressure should be the pick 100% of the time, because it's the only thing that actually adds to getting picks.
Oh, what? Hanzo just getting absolutely tossed around this and that way, looking like he's playing pinball with his own body, as Three-Legged Cat was able to get a pick right there, but Breeze with the immediate counter response for the hook, and then it's Gorge, and then it's Pull, and it's Hanzo just jumping all over the place. And now Blaze clearing out mid, my try over there. A full level lead in favor of Granite Gaming. Wubby not leaving just quite yet, wants to stay grouped with the teammates here, finishing off this neutral siege camp. Three-Legged Cat working on their own, but I gotta say, Three-Legged Cat doing this so slow that Granite Gaming can explore the potential for an invade. Drakir, knowing this, backs off, gonna let Granite Gaming simply know that they're not on it as they now defend this bottom fort.
Azerite has 3 stacks of his trait stacked up, so if he needs to heal, if he gets engaged on, he'll be able to bounce his health surprisingly high just by autoing a hero. It's not like they have any blinds or anything on the enemy team. And yeah. Oh, Under Pressure also really good at the shrine. Just I like the camera work.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You're getting Tychus to model for us.
Oh yeah. Tychus, give us a little spin right here. What does that say? Heaven's Devils. Yeah, the tattoo. Yeah. You know, this is just a really different angle of what we're seeing right here. The health bar, the way the health bar of this sidewall moves with the side angle looks so weird. Already both teams ready to get it started right back here. The countdown. Make started to count it down before realizing that only referees can unpause the game, so not able to do it right there. As we now get back into the action. GG not quite with the level 16 advantage just quite yet. Still equal talent tiers, but Three-Legged Cat does not look like they're going to pursue a fight before the talent has upgraded for Granite Gaming. Surely... What's up? I
believe if all lanes are soaked, that Three-Legged Cat will be at 15.75 when the shrine spawns. So they're gonna have to. They might be in a situation where they're going to briefly not have it. Maybe.
Got time. Let's see. Now
it should start any second now.
We shall see, because you get a 30-second warning is the thing before the objective. Three-Legged Cat starting to back off here. Granite Gaming still just kind of lurking. Want to see if they can get something off of the Stitches fishing hook. Johan Ayaya using his sidewall to block off a potential hook Gorge combo hook. Not going to find any members of Three-Legged Cat right there for Breeze. And at the moment, 3LC wants to just sit back and turtle up for a bit. Notice even Wubby is here, ready to follow up on the hook right away. 16 just around the corner. Almost got it. Johan Ayaya got to be a little bit worried about this hook.
So they do barely get it in time. Oh, and then instant indom, so he cannot be gorged. The taunt, throw, combo, and Breeze is dead. Beautiful play of John. Actually insane that he knew he had to immediately get the indom, so he could not be gorged. And that's going to give them a definitive advantage on the shrine.
Okay, wow, even despite the fight starting with their player getting hooked, Johan Ayaya able to turn that into a kill for Three-Legged Cat now, who just continue to clear out the shrine here, getting a solid early advantage. No Stitches here on the scene. The members of GG forced to play this one very passively, and at this point they know they're not winning this objective, and they can't even really safely go onto their siege camp either, because if the members of Three-Legged Cat sniff out that they're doing that, that would be a quick and easy 5v4 in their favor. Granite Gaming just trying to get any little side lane pressure that they can while they wait. What? Why?
Wubby was checking to see if they were rotating so he could slow the rotation down if anyone was like splitting for the mid soak or splitting for the camp. But what he didn't realize was that the underbush was actually already being anchored, so they saw him walk into the bush and just popped him.
Okay, I just thought for sure you would never walk into that, so I panned the camera away, but my bad about missing that one shot right there. Interesting play coming out now. The Punisher jumping over the wall onto Breeze here. Three-Legged Cat fully aware that Tychus is not here. Tychus actually soaking out top lane, but that's not going to stop Breeze from landing the hook onto Captain Rex, gorging Captain Rex away into the core for the instantaneous kill, absolutely taking the wind out of the sail at least a little bit. Tychus has rejoined the fight at this point. Three-Legged Cat looking like they're not going to finish this Granite Gaming bot keep. Johan Ayaya able to toss Azerite out, and dude, every time the Three-Legged Cat looks like they're getting an advantage, Breeze just shows up with a counterbalancing hook that immediately turns the tides into Granite Gaming's favor yet again. Now Maitri isolated within the members of Granite Gaming. This is only merely prolonging the inevitable, utilizing that bunker as well, but maybe buying some time for his team. Now Punisher is on the core here, does not look like it's going to break through. It's actually denying soak from the members of Three-Legged Cat there. Those are just minions that 3LC is not going to be able to soak, while simultaneously not getting through the core. An unfortunate sequence for 3LC. Granite Gaming, though, looking solid towards the end of this game.
Yeah, both teams, if assuming no ains happen, both teams will be level 20 for the next objective. And Granite Gaming, Three-Legged Cat already has a keep down, but odds are there's a chance it spawns bottom again, but odds are the next objective will be mid, and that's the fort. Those are the lanes that Three-Legged Cat is missing the forts in, so it's going to be very hard for them to secure the next objective if they can even get there with the pressure that Granite Gaming is currently applying, looking to get their first keep of the game with the level 20 Odin.
And I don't think I've seen this Stitches 20 in quite a while, as that's a big dragon arrow right there, landing onto three members of Granite Gaming, down level 20. Three-Legged Cat does not care. They're trying to finish off Make. Will be able to find him. Breeze gonna go ahead and gorge Sylvanas, but it's only for a moment as he dies, releasing Drakir, and no fear whatsoever from Three-Legged Cat, down the level 20, still going for the hard engage, and all of a sudden catapulting themselves back into this game.
They can't end. They can save bottom fort if they choose to do so. Yeah, they're going to save bottom fort. I kind of wish that they would sacrifice the fort, because this is, though, they're trying to end. There's no other reason to be bottom. They're actually going to try 5v3 to end the game. I don't
5v3
know
down level 20.
I don't know if this is safe.
5v3 down 20. Azerite certainly got his work cut out for him. Gonna need to hit a lot of those skill shots and get the damage out. Meanwhile, Three-Legged Cat just getting to work hitting this core. They do not have bunker. They don't have any ults other than Garrosh's challenge. Light Bomb now coming available for Captain Rex right here. Drakir taking a lot of damage from GG. Oh, that's the contagion! Spreading onto so many different members of the Three-Legged Cat. Oh no, the core attempt, they wanted it. There's Wubby digging in, gonna get behind Three-Legged Cat here as they try to run away. Very likely gonna pick up Maitri right there. There he is, he's isolated. Hey, I feel like I just saw this movie. Maitri gonna fall.
Yeah, he literally just died in the same place.
Oh, there's the arrow coming out. Oh, it's Azerite, let's go. Wait, no, Hirith! No! Wait a minute, no! It can't end like this! Three-Legged Cat! Three-Legged Cat with such a meteoric rise through the gauntlet, finishing off inting for Ruby, and then Masters Clash, and then very nearly Granite Gaming, but Granite Gaming right when it matters most in the reverse sweep after going down 2-0, finishing off the core of Three-Legged Cat. GG has been called, and GG has done it, taking the series 3-2. They just need to finish the core. Wait a minute, I'm celebrating. Okay, there it is. I got it. I got the heroes backward for a minute, and I saw all the health bars dying, and I thought GG was dying for a moment, but no, GG.
Such a bad ending. You can end with 60-second death timers. You can end 5v2 fairly consistently. 5v3, even talent juice, you can't end. And they were 5v3 down a talent. So they needed to think, okay, mid and top are going to be where the next objective is. It's going to be one of those two. We need to kill that fort so that we're even on tap advantage and just get 20. I'm blown. And again, Three-Legged Cat didn't make those decisions, right? The first two games, Three-Legged Cat, they pushed when they were ahead. They defended when they were behind. Game 5, I mean, fatigue is a factor for teams that aren't used to playing best of 5s or best of 7s.
Fatigue is a factor indeed. Granite Gaming just trying to keep it entertaining. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Wow. Let's. Okay, GG, keeping it alive. It was looking rough at times, but looking like a totally different team in the final 3 games of today. Cav was convinced they weren't going to go for that core call, and maybe with good reason, as we saw how it turned out.
They didn't even go straight for it, right? First they defended bottom for it, and then they went for the core. Like if you're gonna make that call, you have to go straight for the core, and nothing else matters. And if you ever stop and debate if you should go for the core, it's already too late. You've already wasted too much time. You need every single second of advantage, because you need to get an additional kill. You will not kill the core straight up 5v3 if you just auto the core. You need to actually like position and posture and look for kills. So you need as much time as possible to have the enemy team make a mistake where they die instead of just being able to walk away and get back into the hearth. So even if that core was theoretically possible, it was wrong to even attempt it if they didn't go immediately, and they didn't go immediately, so it was always wrong.
Wild, dude, wild. I thought Three-Legged Cat had it, but no. Crazy.